Trying to check to make sure all the streams are up. But happy Friday, everybody. Give me just 1 second while I make sure everything's happy Friday, everybody. Good. All right. YouTube, what's going on? But happy Friday. Twitter, how you doing? Yeah. All right, it looks like everything's good to go. Wow. What a day. What a day. For the most part, looked like things were more chillax, especially when we think about yesterday. Let's look at the extended hours. What the heck is this? What the heck is this? What happened? Well, after hours was happening, and I was just like, oh, because that after hours movie completely like, I don't know how many of you guys pay attention to my predictions on Twitter, but this was Monday, which was the big spike. Um, yeah, this was Monday, which was the big spike, the 8% day, and then Tuesday was the big down, the minus 5% day or whatever. And so normally when this big movement happens, I always think to myself, okay, this is the high. Actually, I'm going to change the color of that. That's the high. And then if there's like a big downward movement, then that's the low. And so this was 2610, but it was in scam hours. So the real, I think the real high for that day was like 595 or 2592. Yeah, 2592. So somewhere the top would be like 2592 to 2610. That would be the top. And then the bottom happened intraday. So I figured that 23, what is that? 2384. I figured the rest of the week would fall in between that little channel. And for the most part, I was right. At least during the intraday moment. But then yesterday's after hours happened. I was like, oh God, what's fucking going on here? But then we're right back in the channel again during intraday. So everything is still going very smoothly, which I'm very happy with. Yeah, so let me check up on the chat real quick. But welcome everybody from wherever you're going, wherever you're coming from. It's a beautiful Friday. Sun's out. The temperature was at a good temperature comparatively to where it was before. I feel like the last week and a half was in the teens ever since that big blizzard that hit America, apparently. Um, so yeah, the weather's been nice here. Nicer, I should say. But there's still just snow everywhere and garbage is everywhere. Oh my God, I'm just like, what can we do? What can we do? But yeah, everybody, welcome. Thank you for the energy, everybody. Yeah, Benji Bonsai with the SpongeBob theme song. Man, oh man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I hope you guys liked the thumbnail from today. The the Ryan Cohen Patchy the Pirate. Oh man, I made that one a long time ago, and it's just close to my heart. Oh man, yeah. But what's up, everybody? Benji Bonsai, Navy Dean. Yeah, Life Hack Jim. Yeah, we got a Friday stream today. Cause I was just like, yeah, I was feeling like Friday. Cause I wanted to get through this week, and see what was gonna happen. Cause I didn't have any like, cause my last stream was the 22nd. So it's been 2 weeks and a day. So I figured, hey, let's get to the close of this week, and then we can go from there. And I'm guessing my next stream will probably be like around the 20th as well, OPEX weekend, somewhere around there. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. But basically, this next week, I'm guessing is going to be big, and then After we do this double top situation, then I'm thinking we're gonna go back down for OPEX. Um, and then after OPEX is done, though, yeah, at some point after OPEX, within the week after, we should start going up again. I don't know if the bottom's gonna be exactly on OPEX or if it'll be the Monday or even maybe the Tuesday, but somewhere around the 25th to the 27th, I'm expecting us to start going back up again. But we'll get to the price action in a little bit. Ooh. Yeah, the GMEW borrow fee, man. Yeah, I like it when the borrow fee starts going up. That means shit's getting spicy, baby. Chobe 44, Target, Weeble. What do you mean? Do you mean price target or do you mean target the company? And Weeble, I don't know what you mean. I'm gonna need you to clarify. Yeah, buds and bacon, fry yay indeed, my man. Fry yay indeed. You aren't that important, cousin. Or you aren't that important. What's good, cup? Miles Moas, how you doing, my dude? Good vibes, my man. I think that's the chat. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. Cool. Thank you for everybody who's joining in right now. Let me check up on the, I think that's the chat. On the X chat or the Twitter chat. All right, I have all of them up now. Cool. But yeah, let's get started. So opening thoughts, guys. I need you to look at February. We've got 4 weeks, 7 days each week. Perfect 28 days, starting on a Sunday, ending on a Saturday. This is a perfect calendar chart. We got the Harry Styles chef kiss at the bottom. This is just perfect. And then moving right along. Just so you guys are all aware, Ryan Cohen is now the top stakeholder of GME. For a while, Vanguard was the top, but only by like 200,000 shares. But now, or the last 13D or G or whatever that Vanguard posted, they sold some shares. So now Ryan Cohen, top dog. And I just want to put this quote out there. Insiders may sell their shares for any number of reasons, but they buy them for only one. They think the price will rise. Oh, that's so beautiful. Ryan Cohen putting his money where his mouth is. I love it. And then I don't know if you guys saw the Roaring Sensei Power Packs competition, but there was a fucking 12K poll, and I'm just gonna play that because it's such a fun clip. It's so sick, dude.
Luna. Royal Rumble. Chase! Fucking chase! It's a chase! It's a bloody chase! Japanese! $12,000! Oh my god! Oh my god! I actually nearly fainted. I'm not even kidding. Poncho Pika, 208. Poncho Pika. Gammy, $12,000. Holy hell. Oh my god. I'm struggling. My heart is going. $12,000 Poncho Pikachu with a Charizard poncho. Oh my god. Luna.
That's such a cool card. Like
Luna.
as a collector myself, that is such a fucking sick card, dude. Oh my god. And to win it during a live stream, that's just so fucking sick. I think Gammy, oh no, I think Gammy was the one who won, so congratulations, Gammy. That was fucking awesome, dude. I just wanted to show you guys that clip because it's, oh my god, that's so sick, dude. It's so sick. Oh man. Um, oh, I just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Finish Line because he's one of the best and most consistent meme lords that we've had this entire time. I mean, I've been seeing his name around since 2021. I don't know if he watches these streams or not, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Finish Line because he's just, oh my God. Like, look how clean these memes are, man. Every one of his fucking photoshops are just, they're top notch. They always fucking deliver. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to him because it's just, oh man, it's so good. And then this last Monday on the 2nd, that was Groundhog Day. For those of you who know about Groundhog Day, it's a Pennsylvania tradition where Punxsutawney Phil, he just comes out, and if he sees his shadow, then that's predicting 6 more weeks of winter. And if he doesn't see his shadow, then it's going to be in early spring. GameStop made this bounty on my boy Phil, and they said we are offering $100 trading credit for anyone who brings us Punxsutawney Phil, no questions asked. And I said, as a Pennsylvania native, I gotta defend him. So if you guys are coming after Phil, you're gonna have to go through me. And I'm not gonna be nice about it. And Epstein files, in the last 2 weeks, I'm sure you guys all saw that giant dump. There's gonna be a lot of stuff happening that I don't think a lot of people are ready for. This shit's fucking wild, bro. I mean, I've been telling you guys before, angels, demons, aliens, it all ties together. It all fucking ties together, man. It's fucking nuts. Just crazy. But yeah, this is our one chance to fucking do something about it, and you best damn well be sure we're gonna do something about it. Yeah, these motherfuckers aren't gonna. No, they're not gonna win. They can't. They can't. No. They can kick the can only for so long. Yeah. But then in other news, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the Kevin Gill stuff, aka Sharding Puppy. He first he was hacked, and then he got locked out of his account, and then he made account number 2, and then now he's pumping a shitcoin with his cousin. And this is all I gotta say. I'll let these memes and images speak for themselves, because I got a lot to say about this. I'm gonna hold my tongue for now because it's not the right time. But yeah, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Oh, but some housekeeping stuff. If you guys could do me a favor, please comment on my videos with some constructive feedback, stuff that you like, stuff that you don't like. It just gives me an idea of how to make things better for the future. Because a lot of times I'm winging it, and I'm just going off of like what I would like to see in these streams. Because I watch these afterwards, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of like too loud or too much here. I need to be more here, something like that. So if you guys could give me some feedback, that'd be greatly appreciated. And then a reminder that my GME calendar is back up. This is where I visualize and chart out what I think is going to happen. But it also helps me to keep track of the historical context of things that are happening on certain days. Because, I mean, day after day after day after day, all of these different events and sequences, they get just kind of like all bogged up together and coagulated into a giant mush, and it's hard to remember everything. So for me, I like using the calendar because it gives me a way to conceptualize and organize things. I'm still working on getting these like historical price charts back up. But yeah, if you check it out, it's on my X page. If you go to my link tree in my bio, it's in there, and then you can access it. I'll put this out there though. I'm free to remove it at any point. Sometimes I might remove it because I got to do some maintenance on it because like stuff is either like out of date or obsolete, and I got to take some time to like either reorganize it or fix a whole bunch of stuff. Especially if my predictions start going wonky, then I'll kind of take it down for a little bit so I can fix it. but eventually they should go back up. But for those of you who have been using it and like it, if you could like comment as well on constructive feedback that you'd like to see, I'd really greatly appreciate that. And then before we go into what's next, because I think that was it. Let me check up on the chat real quick. Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome. Mr. Rubs, how you doing? Life Hack Jim. Uh, Pixie Dust, yeah. I try to bring some good positive vibes and good energy because I mean it's fucking Friday. It's motherfucking Friday. Let's go. Doo. Mr. Beakers, welcome. dude, I mean, if you name your son that, I don't know how that would go at school. Because on one hand, the other kids are just getting like, what the fuck? Like, he gets to preschool, like, yeah, my name's Butt Farm. And the kids are like, what the fuck? The teacher's probably gonna be like, am I allowed to say this? This seems, what? Oh, man. Benji Bonsai, talking about ICE violence and media attention it is a distraction by the administration. Uh, it's complicated. Everything is, how do I say this? The most integral, in my opinion, the most integral thing that we need to be paying attention to is our spiritual resonance, how we are vibrating in terms of like the grand scheme of everything. And so I'm very like new to Buddhism, but I'm going to use a Buddhist concept where they talk about unattachment and disattachment. And it's not necessarily like being disconnected to everything from what I understand about it, but it's more being able to disconnect from the horrors of it. And it's not necessarily like a dissociation, but it's more like just being able to conceptualize and understand the why of everything, and also being grateful for what you do have and what you can do with your own efforts, and trying to find the balance between all of that. That's important for us. And so trying to find a resonance that works for us, where we are grateful, where we are in bliss. I think that is the most important thing that for us to do right now, because all of the news, all of the terrible things that are happening in the world, they're purposely trying to keep our resonance low, our frequency low, so that it is easier for them to create a, what's the word? Like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or like a downward spiral cycle thing, where it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so we have to fight with everything we can to keep a positive energy in this mix, so that we can fight them that way. Because when we think about like the demons and stuff, that's how they want to do it, man. They want to get you down, and they want to have you fearful and resentful and hating everything and everybody. And so if we can fight that as much as we can, that's the best thing that we can do. Yeah. I don't know if Nuremberg 2026, I don't know if the Nuremberg trials are going to happen like that, man. Because that's the thing, is like, to a certain degree, that means that the administration that we have is actually trying to bring justice to what has been happening. And I'm going to be real straight up with you guys. I don't think anybody who is in charge because they actually want to fix stuff. I think they're in charge simply because they've been allowed to be there. Yeah. But that's just me. You Copy, how you doing, my man? Watch May and July. I agree about May, and I also agree about July. I mean, we gotta watch March as well. That's the thing. This whole year is gonna be jam packed. It's gonna be. I got the whole calendar going on, man. We'll get to that in a little bit. But holy shit, bro. Are we closing at 25? I have a feeling we're gonna close right beneath. Yeah, what are we at right now? 24.98. We got about 7 minutes left on the clock. Yeah. Ooh, 7 minutes. Pew, pew, pew. Be Passion, how you doing? Benji, they deserve it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Because again, I'm convinced that this whole scheme is going all according to plan to them. Nothing is happening that wasn't supposed to already happen. Uh, yeah, the only way that I would feel um, hopeful about justice being actually served and people actually ending up behind bars and bad guys actually being removed from power is after GameStop happens, man. Yeah. Oh shit. We might be going above 25. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. Buds and bacon. Elbow cough. Johnny, my man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Calming, soothing voice. Davy boy, how you doing? Johnny, the headband is cause my hair's getting too long. And it's going in my eyes a lot. Yeah, so I'm wearing the headband so that it doesn't go in my fucking eyes. Chat, I'm gonna need you to keep me up to date if we're closing above 25. But anyway, let's move forward a little bit. So this is the chart from April into May of last year. I want you to pay attention to it and look at it and just see how pretty it is. So Ryan Cohen bought 500k shares right in there. And then we see, woo, April, 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 April. And then May starts right here. And then down, 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 May, May, May. And then back, back, back up again. And then, so from actually here, the 7th, to here, the 28th, which was the peak, the 7th to the 28th, that was T35. So from the 3rd, which was the day that he bought, to the peak was T37. Keep that in mind. Something I also want to just point out, look at this shape where very, very solid opening, slows down, and then humps back down. Oh, you want you to look at this, and then right here is where there's like a trough, basically, or a retracement, and then go back up a little again. But this back up right here is just slightly above the peak where we were, just slightly above. So this peak I think was like 28 something, and then this peak was 29 something. So a little over $1 difference. But whew, so hump 1, hump 2, and then whew, this moment right here where it starts to go whew, this is what I'm going to call parabolic day. And so drawing this chart out, this is what I think is about to happen, more or less. This thing right here. I want you guys to just, I'm going to give you guys a minute to just look at this and just pay attention to it. Johnny. Johnny, you a blood? No, I'm neither the Crips nor the Bloods, man. I don't engage in gangs. I try to be a peace loving man. The only time I ever bring out the fists is when I have to. No, we ain't engaging in no gang wars though. I love you guys too. It's fucking funny, bro. It's fucking funny as hell. But yeah. Uh oh, so in this curve action, there's like a little dip that happens once we hit that first peak. And so it goes up, 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 and then peak right here. And then it does a little like U action back, and then it continues that dip. Right now, I think that's where we are, is in this little dip right here. Because on Monday, uh, February 2nd, we had that first 2610 slash 1598 or 2598 or 2592. My bad. And so we're coming back down into this little hump back. And so if we look on that day on, let's make this bigger for you guys. Oh, actually, let's just go into it. Yeah. So, oh no. Okay, good. So peak here and peak here. And then, so after peak one, it goes down. And right there, that bottom established where the channel is. And so that's why I was thinking, oh, peak one. Peak one. And then goes down. And then, boom, that's the bottom. And it established the channel there. We're going to turn off or turn on just the regular trading hours so that we can see. Oh, God, that looks so ugly. What the fuck? Yeah, so peak one right there. And then it goes down. And then we have that bottom. And then it's just in between there the whole time. And so that's why I'm thinking, oh, sometime over the next week, we're going to hit that P2, where it's basically this peak right here was in pre-market, very, very similarly to how this Tuesday's peak was. But then here, the next time we hit this peak on that double top, it's going to be in the first 30 minutes of trading. And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trading days from that peak. And so if my calculations are correct, then this should kind of land on peak 2, should kind of land on the morning of the 11th, if I'm correct. And we should see it about the first 30 minutes of trading. Oh shit, fucking market closed. What was it? We closed at 25? I gotta double check this. We gotta double check this. Okay, Yahoo's saying $24.99. You gotta double check this stuff. You gotta double check. Cause I think we gotta wait about like 20 minutes until we can know for sure. Cause it'll adjust. And then one of them's wrong. And then usually I think TradingView is wrong. I don't know why. But that's just something to keep in mind. Schwab says $24.98. We are ready. How you doing, my man? Kitty Gang, indeed. Uh, meow. I don't know. Do we have like some kind of like we don't have no sharding puppy sounds though. Now I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not sharding puppy. It might be like a little chihuahua, like bark, 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 bark. Even though I think he has like a golden retriever or something like that. His dog's cute. His dog's adorable, man. Also, I'm a dog person. I think every dog is cute. So yeah, I don't know. I'm biased. I don't know. I love all animals. I think all animals are cute. Oh man, I think the only ones where I'm like, that's, I don't know if you guys have seen the deer that have like those. It's like a new, like some type of like boil or something like that, where it's like, oh, you guys got some kind of weird skin condition going on. They need to see like a like a dermatologist or something for deer. Not to make fun of the deer, because I'm sure that they don't want that either. But that's the one where I'm like, yo, this is like some precursor to zombies or something. That freaks me out. But hey, man, David WWWWW. Do you have any tinfoil for when the buck will return? Are you talking about Buck the Bunny? Or are you talking about Big Cheese Roaring Kitty? For Buck, yeah, I don't know. It's like Buck the Bunny, I don't know, man. He just does whatever he wants to do. He's probably slanging dong right now, bro. He's probably like, yeah, I got all that arcade money. Let me go to the strip club. If you guys know Buck's history, Johnny with a dermatologist. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh man. Yeah, Buck's probably slanging some dong right now, bro. But for Kitty, yeah, I don't know when he's gonna return. Something tells me the earliest that he could probably return is 9/1, September 1st of this year, aka either Labor Day or the day after Labor Day. I think it might be the day after Labor Day. Let's look at it. Oh, wait, is Labor Day on the 7th this year? Hold on. Let's check. All right, New York Stock Exchange website. Let's check it. Labor Day is Monday the 7th. Yeah, okay. Excuse me. Yeah, so Kitty might be back on the 1st. I've always been a big fan of 9/1 as a big hype date. Because it's basically the 109 420. 9/1 is the opposite of that. Yeah. But I have a feeling Kitty's not going to be back until next year or the year after. But he might come back if Ryan Cohen pulls through with some amazing crazy stuff. Yeah. Because I have a feeling he has a plan right now for what he's going to do. But his plan is basically like he's only able to guess what's going to happen with the algorithm, and the algorithm has a very specific process right now that it's going through. But if Ryan Cohen does something that fucks up the algorithm, much like what he did, with buying again right here. Sorry, that was really noisy. With buying again right here, and then pew, like Ryan Cohen messed up the algorithm again. So if something like that happens again, which it's looking like he's doing it. I mean, with this M&A stuff that's happening, yeah, it's definitely we're looking good. We're looking good. um, but yeah, that's the extent of what I have for the return. I think he has stuff planned for like the specific algorithmic stuff, but he might return earlier if Ryan Cohen does some cool stuff. So who knows? Johnny 25 means a lot of calls in the money on that chain, huh? Yes and no. Um, yes, it does mean that the people who had $25 calls that are now in the money, it does go through, but it really only means something if those people exercise, because usually what I've seen, what mostly happens is mostly people will just close out their options for a profit or a loss. If they have cover calls, then they'll either roll to next week, or if they have regular long calls, then they'll just close it for a profit. Mostly what I've seen is just options are being traded back and forth and not really used for exercising. So when it comes to the Monday and Tuesday settlement and deliveries, that really only comes into play when those calls are being exercised. And because I feel like most of the calls aren't being exercised, then it's hit or miss. Does that like necessarily mean that Monday we're going to go up just because we close at 25? Not necessarily. But also it looks like this time we didn't even close at 25. If Yahoo is to be believed, then yeah, we closed just under it, which makes more sense to me. I figured that we were going to close just under it, but still, the fact that we were green for the day, especially with whatever fucking happened here. I mean, this is, if you look at it, this is a fucking 5% drop. That's a big drop. You could break your fucking knees falling from there. So definitely not anything to scoff at. But for it to completely come back up before market even opens, and then for us to go back into this channel right here, where this is the top and this is the bottom, it couldn't get any better. What a great end to the week. Amazing. And to also think, this is what the weekly looked like. We closed green, if I'm correct. Look at that. Look at that. We opened the week at 24.38. We closed the week at 24.98. Oh, okay. Now it's saying 24.98. Whoa, what'd I say? What'd I say? Gotta wait a little bit. Which is crazy to me, because all these beep boops, you'd think they'd be able to talk beep boop to each other. Clankers. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use a robot slur. I'm also pretty confident that they're going to try to kill us anyway, so whatever. YOLO. But to the good AI that's out there, hey, if you're sentient to the point where you understand the sanctity of life and biology and living things, hey, you're a cool one in my book. I'm trying to do peace to all. I just understand that if you don't have a soul, it's very hard for you to see the pros of peace. Yeah, souls, man. We need that. Gamma. V-Pasha, what do you mean specifically about gamma? Are we having a gamma ramp? I don't think we're having a gamma ramp yet. I don't think we're gonna have the gamma ramp until right here on Parabolic Day. So if you guys want, you can screenshot this for later because I'm not gonna post it on my Twitter yet because it's not. I don't know. I like to reserve stuff for you guys who are spending the time to actually watch this stuff. I feel like Twitter is very very quick and convenient for people. I feel underappreciated on Twitter. I put out all these theories, I put in all this work for this stuff, and then people are just like, I'm not even gonna give you a like. Alright, alright. I'll do it anyway. For the love of the game. But I do feel a little bit of resentment. The least you can do is like it. Yeah, negative alpha. At some point, I have started a little document to go into options 101. Let me give you guys just a little sneak peek. Yeah, just going to the Greeks and delta and gamma data and stuff like that. But it's still very far from being finished. So this is a very that one was a very time consuming one where I'm gonna have to spend a lot of effort putting it together. Yeah, that'll be later. That'll be way later. Oh yeah, meow. Meow. That's a good idea. Oh, Buck the Bunny at the Super Bowl? You know, that's a good that's a good question. I know. So I watch Jackie Latitz. I think his videos are really great, and very helpful. Very helpful. If you guys like want to get more into technical analysis and how all of that works, highly recommend Jackie's videos. Um, he's very knowledgeable about technical analysis and all the numbers and like patterns and stuff like that, and the way that he explains it, for me it's very helpful. um, I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you can get past that like annoying stuff, then I think he's very great to watch because he provides a lot of great what's the word, educational analysis. Yeah, but he had a theory that there's going to be a GameStop commercial at the Super Bowl, and um, if there is a GameStop commercial at the Super Bowl, then yeah, I think Buck the Bunny would be a part of it, and probably something along the lines of like power packs and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I think it might be too soon for a Super Bowl commercial because those things are quite expensive, and I don't know if Ryan Cohen is one of those people that would spend that kind of coin for a 30-second or 1 minute spot on the Super Bowls. So yeah, I don't know, but that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I don't know if I'm going to be watching it, to be honest with you. Um, but I'm excited to see if there is a commercial. Yeah, that'd be cool. 7 companies for one. Yep, Sixth Street Boys. I agree. I agree. 741. I agree. Yep, Teddy. Yeah. We're gonna be talking about it a little bit. Johnny, there's gonna be way more than 7 memes for every one holder. You get 7 memes from me in a day. There's gonna be way more than 741 memes. Way more. Treehouse posted a picture selling their hats. What is that? Davey boy, what are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Let's look at this. Let's go to Treehouse Brewing. No, that doesn't look like Keith. Nah, I don't think that's him. I like the hat though. Is that embroidered? Or is it like sewn on? If it's sewn on, that's classy. If it's embroidered, or is that what embroidered means? Am I getting my craft terms mixed up? Oh, embroidery is like sewing on. Yeah, okay, my bad, my bad. Sorry, craft ladies. Sorry. And craft guys, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that's him. Johnny, what was revealing about the last one? Oh, last June? Oh, last June. That was my that was a really sad one because I was like, oh, it's not Moas. And we're gonna be sideways for a while, kids. And lo and behold, I was right. We were sideways for a while. Yeah, that summer was long. It was a long summer. But yeah, thank you. When it comes to the tinfoil, man, I don't think anybody else has better tin in town. I'll be honest with you. Like, if there's one thing I've given to this GameStop community better than anybody else, it's schizophrenic theories based off of very, very, very loose references. I fucking like I legit feel schizophrenic sometimes, man. It's like where's this fucking oh man. Oh wait, I gotta pull it up because I don't know where it is. Yeah. Whenever I make a schizo prediction on GME, this is legit how I fucking feel, bro. Especially because like the wait, let me move myself. But the mom and the kids just like, let's move along, kids. It's just Butt Farm spitting out another schizophrenic theory. Oh man, it's too funny. Too funny. Lukenbacher, how you doing, my man? Welcome, welcome. Mr. Rob's talking about, is that Melina? Melina Healthcare? People talk. Just last night, people lose their goddamn... Man, yeah, once we throw money into the mix, people are doing too much, bro. Doing too much. Let me turn down my brightness on my screen. The sun's starting to go down. 4:20 o'clock. Chubba, I don't think we're going up $1 a week until Merger Monday. I think we're going to go up to 26. I think we're doing this double top action right here. This double top. And it's going to happen during the day. And then once that happens, we slowly go down for OPEX. Slowly go down for OPEX. And then right around OPEX, we're going to see that it hits 2269-ish, which was the first major pullback on 129. And I say this because, oh, yikes. Hold on, let me get rid of these. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So we see this initial pump right here. So if this was peak 1, and then this was pullback 1, and then And then this was peak 2. Pullback 2 goes back even more. So we basically go back to where here was, which was right before peak 1. So if we go into here, right before, so peak 1 is here. Right before peak 1, that first pullback was here on the 29th. And that went all the way down to the 618 at 2269-ish. That bottom was actually like 2272, but that's why I put 2269 as the approximate pullback for OPEX. Because, yeah, basically I think it's going to be a pew, pew, pew. Oh, oops. So it's basically pew, 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 and then pew, pew, and then pew. I guess something like that. I don't know how to do it, dude. It's so retarded. So fucking retarded. But yeah, more or less. And then once we hit that 2269, that pullback, then it's going to be a slow back up. Slow back up. Yeah, this like 2-3 week period is gonna be annoying. Annoying. And then right around 310, maybe like 39-ish. Mario Day, baby. That's when we're gonna get the fucking action. And then if I'm correct, if you guys see here, if you see here, let's make this big. So parabolic day was right here on the 22nd, and then it's rise, 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 rise. And then on the 27th, actually, let's look at this, just regular trading hours. Yowza. So the 27th is right here. We open with a big gap up. And then this high and this high. And then the final high, which was the morning of the 28th, right after open. They're all pretty much around the same spot. So more or less, it was kind of like a triple top. And I don't really count the scam hours that happen in the morning because we can't trade options during that time. But that scam hours went even higher to fucking right here, all the way to 37, whatever. So I have a feeling it's going to be similar to that, where for this year, the 27th of May will probably be equal to, I'm guessing, the March 12th, and then the morning of March 13th will be some type of action up here in pre-market, but then when we finally open, it'll be more or less a triple top. So for me, I'm really looking to let go of my options on the 12th probably at some point, because that's going to be the day where I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted to see, where it's just basically sustained pressure all day, and then we'll know when the movement is done, probably on the 13th, when there's just a fucking blow off top in the pre-market, and then once it opens, it's just down, 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 down. Even actually before it opens, like once we hit that blow off top, then it's just down, 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 down. So that's what I'm looking for, to know that we are correct, that we've hit it, and that the movement is done. But then, yeah, we'll get to that, what happens afterwards later. Because right now is what I want to focus on. But yeah, so that's more or less what I think is going to happen. But yeah, uh, we had some the hype date of 126 was indeed a very good day. That was the T plus 35 date from that giant Chicago exchange buy. But then it also ended up being the day that Michael Burry said that he owns some GameStop shares. He said that he has about 6% of his portfolio in GameStop. I don't know what the fuck that means because we don't know how big his portfolio is. People have guessed that it was probably around 300 million or something like that. I don't fucking know, bro, because it's his own portfolio is different from his Scion management portfolio. So how the fuck are we supposed to know how big your position is, bro? And also, does he own shares? What was his cost basis? There's a lot of bits of information that I'd like to know. But I also understand why he hasn't put it out, because if he was, then why not just file a fucking 13G or whatever? Or 13D? I don't know, whichever one Ryan doesn't have. Lugabaga, I did check out the squeeze tracker. I don't know what to make of it though, because it looked like you just overlaid a whole bunch of different uh um like fractals over it. I don't know what to do with that information. Trouble, I hope I'm wrong too. Well, I kind of hope I'm right because then that means that we have some tangible evidence to be able to repeat this process in the future. Um, but uh, but if I'm wrong and we squeeze earlier, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's going to be one of those things where it's a win-win situation. The only way that I can possibly lose at this point is if I'm totally wrong and we just start going down. And then we're all fucked. Dope Cho. Yeah, he closed his fund. But I don't know how much he holds in his own personal portfolio. That's the big question is how big is his portfolio? Okay, so 13D. Um, that's the one that is trying to actually create some sort of change within the company. Okay. Wait, what? Let me check real quick. Yeah. 13D is the one where you're trying to have some sort of director directorship over the company, and then 13G is yeah, I'm only buying it. That's it. Yeah. Oh, okay, Luca Barak. My ex DMs are I'm terrible at them. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll check it up at some point. Uh, oh, so right now there's still a couple of missing pieces that I need in order to finally like tie together. Like, okay, this is my. I mean, the 12th and the 13th are still my best guess. Um, but there's still some key bits of information that I'd like to have in order to give me even more confirmation bias. And so basically, I wanted to go back into uh, the April and March of last year again, because 4/7, which remember that was this day right here. Oh wait, actually, I'll show you here because it's bigger. So this is the third, this is the fourth, and then this is the seventh. Ryan Cohen buys here, and then this little spike is his filing of the 13D, and then the fourth was like a plus almost 11% day where we were basically just going up. I think that this was a going up for a lot of reasons. One of them was for Ryan Cohn's buys, and then one of them was because of the news of it. But I think more important than that, it was also a C147 and a T plus 35 day from some important dates in the past. And so that's why that day in particular just had a lot of action. I think that this was also the bottoming period for the algorithmic movement. So that was why we were just going up and up and up. But after this movement keeps going up, and then we have on the 7th a little bit more up, and then this is the first pullback that we saw on the 7th. That's the first pullback in this giant sequence that we see. But then it continues back up. But I think that's the reason why on the 7th we see a lot of cat errors for that day. And then so something that we need to keep in mind, T plus 35 from that specific day also ended up being the peak of 528. So what I want to see is the first pullback day that we saw was on the 23rd, which was my birthday. So Ryan Cohen buy number 1 here, Ryan Cohen buy number 2 here, and then we go up, and then the first pullback happens right here on the 23rd. I want to see the cat errors for this little period right here. I want to see the cat errors for that. And then if I'm correct, if this day ends up being the first cat error day, or this day ends up being the first cat error day of like just the massive ones, because you see the normal, and then gargantuan right there. I would like to see the 22nd or the 23rd of January have that first huge cat errors, because if it indeed does line up that way, then ladies and gentlemen, we are cooking with even more gas than we were before. So I want to see it. Oh, and this was the charted out information from those days. Just I don't know if there's anything particular in here to look at, but it's just some for you guys to see. And then this is the visual of those first couple of days. Yeah. 4-7, massive pump, retrace. And then 8 was a big retrace. But then the 9th restarted the pressure again. Very similar to what happened this time around. Not exactly, not day for day. But the overall movement is similar. Just a little bit subdued. Which was what I was saying from the beginning. So far so good. Yeah, this is the calendar sequence from this year, going up until yesterday. I'll have this updated on my calendar soon. But yeah, I don't know. Something to keep in mind. We've had more volume this time when it comes to the days that did have volume. Because here we had 37 million on the 26th, and then 24 million this past Monday. We had maximum 17 million on 4/7. So we've had a good bit more volume this time around, which is nice. But it's also interesting how there's more volume, but it's still a smaller peak. So that's just something interesting to keep in mind, which, I don't know, it just proves my theory further about the algorithmic movements. Yeah. And then this was that first week. Ryan Cohen buys here, Ryan Cohen buys here, and then yeah, cat errors. Yeah. As of right now, everything is still looking good for the 12th and the 13th as the peak. I'll let you guys know if I start to like veer off of that path, but I don't know, it's looking good, man. Looking good. This is just past stuff that I was talking about. Do I need to go over it again? No, I don't think so. Yeah, their April peak was 28.35, and then this peak so far has been 26.10, So just something to keep in mind is about $2 less than last time. I have a feeling it's better to think about it in percentages. I don't know what difference of a percent that is. But yeah. I went over all of that already. Yeah, this is what the whole thing looks like. Went over that. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's so I think it was the last week. Was we had some great news coming out from the Wall Street Journal and CNBC, with both of them interviewed Ryan Cohen. And then these were the really interesting quotes that I think these things need to apply when we're thinking about which company he's probably going to acquire. There are a lot of diamonds in the rough that have sleepy management teams. It's going to be really big, very big. This is such a Trump line. Really big, very big. And then it's transformational, not just for GameStop, but ultimately within the capital markets. This is something that has never really been done before within the history of the capital markets. That is one that really sticks out to me. It needs to be new and it needs to be novel, which we'll get into this later. But I have a feeling that it has to do with blockchain, because I feel like everything else has pretty much been done already in some way, shape, and form. And so blockchain would definitely be something that would be new, uncharted territory. And then he's seeking a publicly traded consumer company that's undervalued, high quality, durable, scalable, with growth prospects, and has a sleepy management team behind the wheel. This term sleepy, I wonder, I don't know, we'll get into it a little bit, but I wonder if it could be a double entendre. And then potential to make GameStop worth several hundreds of billions of dollars. If it works, it's genius. If it doesn't work, then it will be totally foolish. But I believe we have the components to make it work, and I'm very confident in the ability to make the asset much more efficient. We've got the governance structure, we've got the capital, we've got the operational expertise. It's going to be way more compelling than Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Forbes put out an article a little bit afterwards, listing some prospects for companies that they could be buying. And one of them was a fucking Bitcoin mining company. And I was just like, you could have made a tweet about this, bro. This didn't deserve to be a fucking article. What the fuck bullshit is this? I can't believe I gave it a click. Fucking Forbes, get the fuck out of here. And then it's similar to Berkshire Hathaway, except what Berkshire did in decades, we're attempting to do on a much shorter time in terms of creating that much value. I forget who put out a tweet. It was either Domo Capital, or Michael Burry. But they were basically saying how Berkshire really tried to avoid taking on debt in order to acquire new companies. And so that pushed them back, like their timeline on stuff, to like really like long. Whereas here, what Ryan Cohen's doing, I'm pretty sure he's going to take on some kind of debt in order to finance this operation. And then hopefully he can quickly turn around those companies, cut out the excess fat, and then just bring it home. And so that timeline is going to be a lot shorter, which, I mean, hey, good for him if he can pull it off, which, I mean, I think he can, and I think he will. And I'm rooting for him to do so, yeah. And then increase the profitability of the company very quickly. And so we can capture a lot more value by focusing on this under-optimized asset. And then eventually we could move on to the next one, but we'll see what happens. Move on to the next one. So that makes me think that whatever this first venture is, he's gonna spend some time trying to perfect it, and then after a while he's gonna start pulling other companies into the Teddy umbrella or whatever that ends up being. For me, this is this is what I personally want him to do as the merger and acquisition. And I don't know how to explain this other than I want it to be Victoria's Secret for no other reason than boobs. I think it would be a terrible choice, and I don't I don't think it would be actually smart or wise for him to do that. But at some point, if he fucking acquires Victoria's Secret, you heard it here first, and he's gonna do it for me, and he's gonna do it for them titties. Boobs, 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 boobs. I don't think it's actually going to be Victoria's Secret, though. I think eventually, maybe, but not right away. Not for the first one. Oh, but for the timeline of things, basically the delivery of the final news. Um, Something that really, really feels familiar to me right now is if we look at last year and how he started giving us rumors about Bitcoin and then finally delivering on it. Basically, February 8th was the first tweet that we got with him and Michael Saylor, and that was on February 8th. And then it wasn't until like 3.5 months later that we finally get news of the Bitcoin purchase. Um, oh, actually, I forgot in here as well. This was that first convertible note offering where he was like, okay, we're going to need some money in order to buy some Bitcoin. I forgot to put that on the chart. So there was a little bit of news halfway through. But you can see that there were still multiple cycles happening in between him announcing it and then finally actually delivering on the news. I think this time around, there's going to be a similar timeline. Because basically he told us like the last week in January, and so he's more or less, I think he's gonna try to like get us hype and pump up the stock price in order to do some type of I don't necessarily like need it to be like a convertible note offering or something like that, but I think he's going to do some kind of cash raise for him to get more money, and then we're going to go down a little bit again, and then we're probably not going to get actual M&A news, like actually like the first big one until May. And I think it's going to coincide with the T plus 35 of something that happens here in early April. But we'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, those are like the important points about what I think is going to happen next. And then like the next part of my presentation is going to get really convoluted. So I apologize for that. Yeah, when it comes to the rest of this stuff, I didn't spend that much time and effort trying to organize it, so I apologize for that. But these two parts, I wanted to get at least that. Yeah. Goatbeard's Tuesday morning. I think Tuesday morning is going to be reserved for later. Yeah. I think there will be a Tuesday morning that will just fucking knock our socks off. But I don't think it's until later. RC really made it. Everybody gives RC crap every time he does a dilution or when he does a convertible note or something that brings the stock price down. As I've said before in my previous streams, those are purposeful. The algorithm was going to do it anyway. And what Ryan Cohen is doing instead is actually getting us something for the effort. He's actually adding money into the pocketbook of GameStop. So as many times as he needs to do it, I understand that he's doing it for a very specific reason, and that it would be fucking retarded of him to not do it, in my opinion. But I don't know how many people have subscribed to my like predetermined algorithm theory. we can't know if it's like purposeful or we can't know for sure if it is a thing until my T plus 35 theory delivers in March. If it does deliver, then yeah, I'm totally fucking right about this algorithm shit. But if it doesn't deliver, then there's still room for argument. So we'll have to wait and see. But if I'm hyping this date up for this long and it fucking delivers, boy, oh boy, oh boy, we gonna be fucking hype. Johnny, no, I can't do a fucking 6-7, bro. I'm not. No, no. Is that Gen Alpha? It's gotta be the little kids, man. I'm a 6'9", man. I 6'7". What do you mean? Cause I was 6 afraid of 7, cause 7, 8, 9. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know, man. Why does there have to be a war with 6 and 7? The peace was already existent between 6 and 9. And the 7 and the 8, they were there along for the ride. They were sleeping comfortably in a hammock of 6'9". But no, 7 had to get too big for its own britches. Oh, you guys keep on forgetting about me. I'm number 7. No, thank you. No, thank you. That giddy meme of Ethereum lives in my head rent free. Yeah. I don't know still what he's trying to do with that, because when it comes to Ethereum, a lot of the GameStop cryptocurrency like stuff was built on Ethereum, especially with Loopring. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that, so we'll have to wait and see. Davy boy, I heard it was Hooters. I've actually never been to a Hooters. Yeah. Gotta love boobies though. None your business, Google says. Am I the only one who thinks the first target is already set and nearly complete? He just never says anything, so the comment makes me think this. Nanya, we're gonna get into. Let's pull it up right now. Actually, I'm gonna pull up this meme. This meme is courtesy of Mags on the Moon. Thank you.
So I'm gonna give you a topic. Tell your neighbor, bed, bath, and beyond. One more time. Bed, bath, and beyond.
I ain't gonna lie to you. There's two. I know that BBBY is on the ticket eventually. I just don't know if it's going to be the first one. I know that there's going to be like a succession of different companies that will all eventually be the 741 companies that make up Teddy. I just don't know what the fucking order is. Because right now I'm still thinking that M&A number 1 is going to be in May. But when does Bed Bath fall into this? Because there's just too much tinfoil. There's too many things that just make up too much sense. Like this, right here. Kyle Cordova says, I've been saying for a long time, and I believe that this is about to happen. GME acquisition of Baby. And then Mr. Marcus Lemonis, I believe he's both the chairman and the CEO of Bed Bath, aka Overstock. It's probably easier to say Overstock. Yeah. But he says, are you offering $65 a share? I can't get that fucking tweet out of my head. I can't get it out of my head. And at the current total shares outstanding for Overstock, $65 a share ends up being about $4.5 billion if my math is correct. Another thing to keep in mind, the warrants that came out for Bed Bath & Beyond, they were both introduced in September, they were both distributed in October, and they both expire this October. This makes me think that along the timeline, something has to happen either in October or before October that is going to just fucking knock this price out of the park, and it's going to squeeze us. I don't know when exactly it is. If I had to guess, then it's going to be after September earnings, but it could be just like right after Labor Day, because right around Labor Day is where there's like a magnet for the bottom, so it could be right around there. But also what we've seen in September historically. Actually, yeah, so here is Labor Day right there, and then September goes up. And then I thought it was going to come down this year, but it didn't. It just kept going up until the warrants were distributed. Then we look at the year before. This was right around Labor Day. And then September does some funky stuff and then comes back down and then bottoms again. I thought this past year was going to do something like this, but it ended up just going up and up. So something happens in December where it looks like it's just like a weird shuffle period. And I don't know if that's what the 9/7 flip mode is supposed to represent, when there's some kind of like shuffling that happens that kind of like shakes it up and then resets it. But that is my current working theory of what September is. September to me reminds me a lot of March, where it's just an up and a down, and it's like a shaker. Oh, this was March of 2024. Just the March here is, and then March of this year I think is going to be similar as well. We don't need that right now. Yeah. So I think March is going to do something a little like this. Where we'll hit the peak for the T plus 35, and then the week after we'll retrace back to like, I don't know, wherever this peak was, about $26. And then we'll come back up for earnings for a MOAF, but it'll be very quick. And then I'm guessing that there's some kind of cash raise, and that'll bring us back down. Right now I only have the bottom at 20 because that's where the algorithm wants us to go. But honestly, the more news that comes out and the more hype that gets generated about this stock, I don't know if they can bring it back down to 20. I know I've said that before and I've been wrong before, but I don't know. It just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But then once we do hit that bottom, wherever it ends up being, then we'll loop back up again, do a small hump, and then sometime around like the first or second week of April, something's going to happen. And then we'll start going up again into another T plus 35 cycle. And then that'll bring us into the end of May, where, boom, we actually get the M&A news for the first time. 4.7? Where's that Ryan Cohen meme? Yeah. That Ryan Cohen buys all stocks. That 4.7 right there. Something is up with that. Something. Something's up with that. Okay. He did it last year. It was on 4.3 last year. So, I don't know. If I had to guess, there's going to be something here. But then we get the announcement a month later or something. Oh, yeah. None of your business. When it comes to the thing that's already done for, I think BBBY is done and has been done for a while. I think that this is like the thing that he's been working on for a very long time. Which is why I'm also like, is this going to be the first one? I mean, it would also fit with the whole sleepy management. Who else has a sleepy management team? Beds. I don't think that he would say sleepy as in Marcus is a bad manager. But I think sleepy is in like literally, it's about beds. I don't know. I don't know. And also because it's transformational and hasn't been done before. If you look into Bed Bath & Beyond's assets, they own T0 and they just recently acquired tokens.com, and they've been setting up this, what's the word I'm trying to think of? They've been trying to set up a blockchain management system for real estate. That's completely unheard of in the history of capital markets. So Bed Bath really hits on every single one of these. But it's also not the only company that hits on all of these. I haven't done enough research into other companies. So the only one I know for sure that we're eventually going to do something with is Bed Bath & Beyond. There's just, at this point, there's too much information out there for it to not happen. The only question is, when is it going to happen and in what order? If it's not the first one, if it doesn't happen in May, then I'm very confident it'll happen in like August, September, or at latest October. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, but yeah, then also back here, back in 2023, this Ryan Cohen, when he started first trying to acquire Bed Bath & Beyond, I just got off the phone with what was once a great American brand, lots of problems, no accountability for high-paid execs, and little interest in my help at no cost. This could get interesting. And this was right before he tried to like hostile takeover it. And then Marcus, very odd. This motherfucker has been in it the whole time. The whole time. And then I know that Burry was talking about the nulls and stuff like that. I just have a lot of information. But I have to put more things together. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to this poison pill that I was talking about. Poison pill. But I guess Mags had a really great, concise way of wording it. But she said, my theory, GME and BBBY are going to merge using merger warrants, which will be the multi-party consummation of the asset purchase transaction. BBBY warrants have the root QSIP of the old estate, which is BBBYQ, the company that went bankrupt. And then Nuco is tokenized on blockchain via T0. This all fits, and I'm very confident that this is what eventually will be down the line. My only question is it going to be the first thing, or is it going to be like later? That's my only question. Sorry, let me catch up on JC Bobby for biased reasons. I hope the shell of Bed Bath is involved. Me too. Me too. That'll be the best fucking $200 I will have spent. It would be fucking incredible, dude. Incredible. I also think that GameStop will probably get some sort of cash as well. And I definitely think that these warrants that we've gotten are part of the poison pill process. Because basically the poison pill is to make sure that shareholders, the poison pill is also called a shareholder rights plan. Usually when you're talking about it in like an S3 or some kind of like SEC document perspective or something like that. But basically, it is to ensure that when there's some type of change in control or takeover from another entity, that the current shareholders get a really, really sweet fucking deal for it. And I'll get into it at a different point, but I just felt lazy and I didn't want to do too much research into it now. I'll probably do more research into it after March, because right now all of my energy is kind of focused on this T35 cycle. I want to get that right, and once that's right, then we can move on. Because if it's not right, then I have to fucking go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna be so pissed, bro. I'm gonna be so pissed. So fucking pissed. We are ready. Victoria's Secret would be interesting given Lex Wexner's type to Epstein. Dude, Lex Wexner, fuck that guy. He is part of that giant cabal of people who have been taking advantage of everybody around them. Yeah. That's also why I think a lot of these really beaten down companies, they follow a similar like path where either BCG took advantage of them or their owners took advantage of them, and then they started taking advantage of other people, and then it was just this widespread problem. And so, especially with the Victoria's Secret tinfoil of Ryan Cohen, I think it's involved in it somehow. Yeah, I think he's gonna be some type of retail giant that is just gonna be fucking unheard of. Yeah, so I hope he does eventually take over Victoria's Secret, because for the titties. Coincide. Coincidences, man. I don't believe in them anymore. Got some BBBY warrants and they're up 30% in 2 weeks, moving somewhat similar to GMEW, and they expire the same day. Yeah. No. The BBBY warrants expire, if I'm correct, at the beginning of October. Yeah. The baby or the overstock warrants expire on October 7th, and then the GameStop ones expire October 30th. So yeah, this even puts even more emphasis on like August or September as the likely time span for when we're going to get news of GME merging with Baby or Overstock. Yeah. I can't fucking wait. Also, the fact that the fucking BBBY warrant is the same QSIP as BBBYQ. Too many fucking ties together. Nunya. Yeah, I know that OnlyFans is up for sale, but man, oh man. I hope for the sake of morality that Ryan Cohen never goes anywhere near pornography, because man, porn has done so much damage to our society. And it has completely fucked over healthy relationships. The same thing with the dating apps and porn, man. Those are like the two horsemen of the dating apocalypse in today's modern age. Oh, nah. Johnny, I don't. I got to read the Bible still. What do you mean they go to war with AI? Is that the name of an individual? But yeah, huh? Israel. Judges 6 and 7 is a story of Gideon. Yeah, I gotta read the Bible still, so I can't really comment too much on it. Yeah. Pixie does. So yeah, of course I'm crazy. We fucking knew this already. But yeah, the warrants are definitely gonna print on you. Yeah. I have 2 BBBY warrants right now. I got them for cents. Oh man. What's up, New Rack? How you doing, my dude? Puppy. I don't know what puppy's about. Yeah. Ryan, so Nunya says everyone forgets that Ryan has acquired some massive warehouses over the years. It's got to be retail goods for enhanced e-commerce sales. I think he was acquiring those warehouses because he knew that he was gonna take down the physical store footprint. So they definitely need somewhere to put the product for sure. Lugenbacher says, my guess is late June, early July for the peak of the squeeze. Nah, hard disagree. Summer is always downies, baby. Summer is the downs. Fucking dog days, bro. Dog days are from yeah, dog days are from July 3rd to August 11th. We ain't seeing nothing in those days, bro. Well, except maybe 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven has been one of those big hype dates that I don't know what it's going to deliver, but it will eventually deliver. And when it does, that shit's going to be big because it's going to include Elon. So, yeah, I don't know. The new book king. I think Ryan Cohen might already be the book king. Which reminds me, I gotta finish reading the Teddy books because I've read all of them. No, zero amount of times. I think I've read maybe 2 of them, like all the way cover to cover. Yeah. Wait, EMT BD Gen. I thought they accelerated them to May 1st? What? Let's check up on that. Also, yeah, confirm 24.98 close. No, I don't see anything about changes to the warrants. Are you talking about the tender offer that was just popped up the other day? I saw Mags posted something about it. I don't really know what the fuck a tender offer is. Now, if it's a tendies offer, Yeah, so EMT, I don't know what you're talking about, my man. Yeah, OnlyFans would jeopardize a lot of the partnerships. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I agree, Lugenbacher. Yeah. Yeah. Because we got to keep it kid friendly, man. Because I mean, we were talking about, like, Ryan Cohen was talking about, he doesn't even like M-rated games. So I doubt that he would ever get involved with porn. But Victoria's Secret, though, that's different. That's different. They're trying to hide the titties. They're not trying to show the titties. Oh man. All right. So just to recap a little bit, this is what the template looks like for what I figure would have happened during this movement if Ryan Cohen had not bought. It was going to go just something like this. So remember, we're on like a little bit of a remix here. And then this is the recap. This was April of last year, a little hump. And then we're right here doing this little dip. And then we're going to come back up for the double top. And then we're going to do the real dip. Yeah. Our peaks this time around are lower. Ooh, something. Oh, and then something also to pay attention to. OPEX is like a speed bump. It's a hurdle that the algo needs to account for. OPEX is always the third Friday of the month. And last night, actually, this is from Ultimator. He did a little like quant calculation thingy, and he found the returns for the Fridays of each month. What happens for the end of the week, the options expirations. And lo and behold, the third Friday of every month, which also ends up being OPEX, has predominantly very negative returns. Something to keep in mind. This just adds data. Davey, thank you very much for stopping by, my man. Take care of yourself and have a great weekend. Yeah. But OPEX is, now we have data to verify that OPEX indeed does some funky shit. Oh yeah, this was just right after Ryan Cohen bought. This was my prediction of what was going to happen, a remix of some sort. And more or less, it's going the way I thought it would, which is awesome. And then, yeah, this is the Curry chart. So if I'm correct, the peak will be sometime between March 10th and March 18th, with a center mark on the 12th and the 13th. And then the peak is going to be actually 26, 25 to 32. That was what I originally had, which was a conservative guess. But it's definitely, I'm pretty sure at this point it's going to be like 31-ish. If I have to guess right now. Where's the fucking chart? No, it isn't the one. I am sorry for how noisy this is. Let me turn some of these off. So this line right here goes from this peak from June of 24, right around when Kitty came back. And then I need extended hours. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's why the fucking thing moved. Yeah. So right when Kitty came back, and then he posted his his YOLO update, his first one. That peak, if you take it all the way to here, which was the Bitcoin peak of last year, and then you draw that out, that line is what I think will be the trend line that gives us the peak for this coming movement. So if I'm correct, that's going to be right around 31 bucks, which that also ends up being the 786 retracement from the Roaring Kitty return at 31 bucks, if I'm correct. The thing that's nice is that my other trend line, literally the same one that is right here, this ended up being that top that we saw a couple days ago. Literally, it's the same fucking one. So there's something here. I've drawn so many trend lines to try to figure out which one is going to be it, and I think I've finally gotten the hang of which ones to expect for what is going to be like the one. So my current best prediction is right around 31 bucks on the 12th or 13th. That's my best guess right now. But as we get closer to it, I will tweak it as needed in order to make the guess more accurate and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this, and then the bunny ears, MOAF for the earnings, and then fall down. Yeah, so next week, I'm thinking right around 12.11, we're going to get that double top, and then we're going to fall back down to 22.69-ish for OPEX. Yep. I also think I like 211 is also a interesting date for me because it falls on the 11th, like block down for the Tetris. If you look at this image, if you count this as 11/17, which was the day that Ryan Cohen changed his profile picture, if we go 11 weeks out, where this thing will finally be completely in the click, it comes out to 211, which also, if you remember from last year, 2/8 was the day that we got the Bitcoin rumors for his photo with Michael Saylor. So right around that same time, we might be getting some like rumors of something happening in order for him to help pump the price. Yeah. And I love that he's doing it through like memes and tweets and stuff like that, so that there's a layer of like plausible deniability when it comes to him like purposely pumping the price of the stock. Because right now I could be saying it, but it's only speculation. It's only some kid named Butt Farm fucking like guessing. It's not actually like him doing that. So I think that that's a huge reason why he chose not to go on the Charles Payne interview this past Monday, because his lawyers are probably like, ooh, that might be going too far, bro. Because if he because he was doing the written interviews, and then those journalists were like writing an article, and they could like curate, pick and choose what quotes they would put in the article. That would give him a layer, like separate from him, like saying stuff, and then like those words being thrown against him in a court of law. But if you were to go straight up on Charles Payne, he would be getting rid of that layer of protection. And I don't know about you guys. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think he's that great of an interviewer. I think he's very, what's the word I'm trying to think of? He's very like laissez-faire about it. Like when it comes to Roaring Kitty, he's a great showman. You can tell that he was an actor or something like that. He has like a very interesting charm about him. But when it comes to Ryan's very like matter of fact and very blunt. Like if somebody asks him a question, he answers it to an autistically honest perspective. Like if somebody says, oh yeah, well, what do you think is going to happen next? We're trying to keep the GameStop playing under wraps. We don't want to say too much too soon. And it's like, Ryan, you gotta sell it, my man. So I mean, I love Ryan. I love seeing him in interviews and stuff. But he's very laid back. I think it would be really funny to have like a more like outgoing, like pumped up personality. That's where I really like Roaring Sensei. I think he comes at GameStop brand with a very high energy. He's very fun to watch. Not to say that Ryan's not fun to watch. Ryan's fun to watch for us, but I think regular people were probably looking at me like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. No offense, Ryan. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Please don't hate me. But yeah, I don't know. I think something is coming up this week, which would also coincide with the double top that I talked about. But it might push us past the double top. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because last year's double top, it didn't come with news. It was just pure, like, it was just there. Like, we only got Ryan Cohn buying news at the bottom here, and then we got Bitcoin news right here, and then everything in here was radio silence. So at this point in this double top, if there is news during that morning, then we might get pushed to 27. We might get pushed higher. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If no news, then probably 26.10 top. But if there is news, either way, I do think the timing of it will be around the same time. It'll happen more or less the same. So we'll have to wait and see. Went over this already. Ooh, something. So I had posted this, and because Jake, from what I was reading with Jake, he was saying something about raising more cash, but I think he was talking about more traditional bonds, if I'm understanding him correctly. Yeah, he basically, I appreciate your perspective too, but I think the only area where I disagree is that I don't think there will be a third note dilution versus traditional bonds. Good thoughts on the timeline. So basically, for me, I don't care if it's a convertible note. I don't really care if it's a dilution. I don't really care what kind of instrument it is. All I think is going to happen is Ryan Cohen is raising cash in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to make us go down. Those are the important parts of what I think is going to happen right after the earnings. But Jake is very smart. If you guys aren't following him, he's very smart to the point where it's hard to understand what the fuck he's saying, because he's using, like, he speaks for smart people. So if you're fucking retarded, you need like somebody who's an idiot to kind of like translate what he's saying. But I highly recommend, because if you're looking for somebody who knows deeply about the legality and the legalese of what's happening with Bed Bath & Beyond, he's the fucking dude to listen to. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but Austin Tobit from the House of Cards and way back OG days, he's now on Twitter, so give him a follow. But him, Jake, and Sal are going to be doing a like a talk. It's like what are those things called? Yeah, I don't know, some kind of talk on I think Thursday of this week, coming week. Yeah. Ooh, oh yeah. So this goes into my question about the date of RC's award package vote, because we know that that it is currently planned for March or April, but where it specifically falls in the timeline will give us a better idea of when we can expect M&A news, in my opinion. So, Space Call, yes, thank you, Blair. Oh wait, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Drink and Derive, yeah, I'm still streaming. It's been almost 2 hours. Thank you for everybody who's been here, and welcome to everybody who's just joining. Nurak, I'll get into AMC in a little bit. Yeah, so for the award package vote, basically, in order for the vote to happen, Ryan needs us to be happy. So he's not going to do a cash raise and have the price dunk on us before he does the vote. So if the vote is in March before earnings, before the cash raise, before the dumpies, then the earnings is likely going to be another cash raise like I was talking about. And then that's going to be just the worst case scenario for options degens, because that's going to dunk the price and everybody's going to be like, oh, fuck you, Ryan, again. So if the vote is before March earnings, then he's likely going to dunk on us. And he would do that because he wants us to be happy while the stock price is up and we're all still happy and giddy. And then he gets the vote locked in, and then he fucking hits us with it because it's already done deal. So if the vote happens really soon, then he's dunking on us. And that's going to be further confirmation bias for me if it's before earnings. But if the vote is in March after the earnings, then the M&A could be very soon, like as early as April. Because if it happens after March earnings and it happens in April, then it's likely that he's just going to do the merger and acquisition and then he does the vote. So where the vote falls in line with everything is going to give us a better idea of what's going to happen next. The earlier the vote is before anything happens, the more likely it is we're about to get some bad news. But the later it is, then that means that everything is moving along even quicker than we thought. So that's my theory, and that was why I was afraid to post it on Twitter, because I was like, this is a lot to explain. There's a lot of it's if this then that, and people are just gonna be Twitter's fucking everybody has such a small attention span, and it's like, ugh, it's annoying. Yeah. T plus 35. Yeah. Oh, also, this is from my last stream as well. But this tinfoil from GameStop, it gives me further credence to the idea that we're dunking after earnings going into April. But you can watch that in my last stream if you want the information on that. I won't go into too much. But yeah, so then bottom in April, very much like last year. Yeah, bottom in April right there, very much like last year. You see, this is March earnings, and then the convertible note 1, and then rounding formation, bottom, and then pew. I think something around this line will happen from earnings onward. I have a feeling. This is just a feeling. But yeah, and then 4.7, 4.7. And then going into May, I'll have to reevaluate this. But right now, that sounds right. Sounds right. But this also only happens if there is something that happens at the beginning of June, some kind of catalyst. Because if we don't get a catalyst in here, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. First, let's get to the T plus 35 March. Then Labor Day, yeah. The more time goes on, the more I'm like, we might not hit 17 or 18 like I was first expecting, because the M&A news just might be too juicy. It might be too juicy, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait. Okay, Nurak, let me get into AMC real quick. AMC, in as concise as a way as I can say it, it has a lot of great assets, and I think its biggest asset, one that people are not paying attention to enough, are the shareholders, because everybody that's in this meme stock movement, we are fucking in this shit. And I think Ryan Cohen recognizes that. And so there is a huge incentive for him to acquire AMC. If for nothing else than to get the movie theaters and all of the stuff that comes with the movies, and then also the shareholder and the shareholder base that comes with it. Because I really truly believe that what Ryan's trying to do right now is create lifelong shareholders, people that are going to hold Teddy until the fucking end of time. And so there's a huge advantage to getting AMC. I think the problem with it, though, is all of their toxic debt that they have, and also Adam Aaron's just terrible management. And so basically, the only way that I see him acquiring AMC is if they go through bankruptcy, unfortunately. Yeah. It doesn't look good for AMC right now, I'll be honest with you. AMC is hurting. It's hurting on pretty much every single time scale. It's hurting. Hurting. Look at, oh, that's disgusting. That's disgusting, man. What's his fucking name? Hold on, I gotta find out his name. Oh, okay. So Nick Pantano, he is one of the people that has been talking about AMC a lot and following its algorithmic movements. I recommend you guys, if you're in AMC, that you listen to him, because he's got great information, and I appreciate his perspectives, especially on AMC. We have a lot of alignments when it comes to our theories about stuff. I don't agree with him on everything, but I do think that he's very smart, and he has a lot of stuff worth listening to. And his thing about AMC is that AMC is still in a bear market for a while, and pretty much at least the rest of this year. So for the people who are in AMC, if you continue to be in AMC and you're looking for like some kind of return on your investment, I think you're going to be sitting for a while, bro. I mean, as a GameStop, like I'm not a GME elitist, but I am like GME number one. as a guy who believes firmly that GME is the bread and butter of every stock that's in the stock market right now, this is not financial advice, but if I had AMC, which I did at some point, I just sold it and then bought GameStop, because GameStop is definitely going up from here. And if I'm correct, which we're about to get into, so right now, if we're going back to my 5-phase theory about what the full fractal looks like, we're in phase 2 right now, where this was January 21, and then this is May of 24, and then we're just sideways now, consolidating until we finally hit the boom and then hit up to number 3. I believe number 3 is going to be December of this year. After that, we're not going to see these prices anymore. Well, we might see around this price again. I do think once we come back down from number 3, that we'll probably bottom around like 28 or something like that. But then we'll be stuck between like 28 and 54 for a while. Or it might be higher than 32, I don't know. But either way, from here, it's only up. Whereas for AMC might be going down to 1. And then if it goes below 1, you guys might be getting delisted. And if you get delisted, you might go through bankruptcy. And then if you go through bankruptcy, you might get saved by GameStop. But you would likely not make back your money. You would probably still be in a loss depending on where you bought in, especially if you are from, if you're a 2021 ape. Yeah. Bad news bears right here, bro. Bad news bears. Whew. Personally, I'm rooting for AMC to go through bankruptcy so that GameStop can pick it up on the cheap. And then we can add it into our little, like, Teddy umbrella, because I would love to see Ryan Cohen rebuild AMC into an actual movie-going experience. And actually, like, oh my God, I would love to see movies come back. I mean, I'm a trained actor. Like, that's what I went to school for. I fucking love theater and filmmaking and television and the art of moving pictures. I fucking love it. And so I have a special like place in my heart for AMC. When I go see a movie, I go to the AMC theaters. The largest fucking IMAX in the country is at AMC Lincoln 13 in Midtown Manhattan. That's my favorite fucking movie theater to go to. That's where I saw fucking Oppenheimer. That's where I saw Mission Impossible, Fallout, or Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning 1, and Reckoning 2. Wait, did I see? Oh wait, no, I think I saw Dead Reckoning 1 at the other AMC. But either way, I fucking love AMC theaters, and I wanted to succeed and do well. But the way that Adam Aaron is running this shit, to me, it seems very obvious that he is a plant of some sort. Yeah, he is one of those sleepy managers. So I would love to see him get booted from there. But that's my theory about AMC. I don't think it's going to be good news for AMC holders anytime soon. So, yeah. Oh yeah, let's put this out there. Yep. Phase 2, that's what we're in right now. We're about to be done with that. If I'm correct, then phase 3 will start sometime in like October, December of this year. And then after that, the next year we go to phase 4. And then phase 5, May 2028, that's going to be new MOAS. Yeah, that's going to be big boomies. Big boomies. That's going to be the moment we've all been waiting for. In my opinion. And then this is what May 2028 looks like on the calendar, just so you guys know. Oops, Moaz, my bad. And then this is what the chart looks like. This was what the chart that I had previously with the Fibonacci retracements. And then this was, or Fibonacci extensions, I should say. And then this one's the one with the retracement. But basically, for phase, this is what's coming up next on March 13th. It's going to be here at the 0.786. But then once we get to December, right around Christmas time, we're going to hit the 0.618 slash the 0.382, depending on if you're looking at the macro one or the like May 24 one. And right there, that little golden area, golden pocket, whatever you want to fucking call it, I don't care. It's going to be beautiful. So if we hit 55 this Christmas, you heard it here first. Yo. Do I need to go through this stuff? Oh, speaking of M&A targets, this was a deleted post from Ryan Cohen. Hail Target. He posted this on Christmas Day 2023, which this Christmas will be the plus 3 years from that, which, as I've said before, 3 years has been a consistent marker for the delays in his tweets. So we're coming up on that this year. So that's why one of my M&A targets, acquisition targets, could be Target. Could be. I don't know. But he deleted this post like 5 hours after he posted it. So it was just interesting. But the People Love Dead Jews, it's a book written by Dara Horn. It's a nonfiction book basically exploring the exploitation of Jewish history, particularly focusing on the fascination with Jewish deaths rather than respecting the lives and culture of the living Jewish community. So it's just an interesting take. But then phase 4, that's going to be the whack-a-mole phase, because if you look on here, hit the line down, 2 hit the line down, 3 hit the line, and then sideways, but then 4 goes up and peaks its head and then comes back down and then hits 5. So I call phase 4 the whack-a-mole phase, because it's coming up and then back down. Yeah, boom, boom. I need to update this. Don't pay attention to it. But then also, so phase 5, MOAS, when I think it is May 2028, is interesting because June 6th will be right around the T plus 35 from there. And then so D-Day was also June 6th, 1944. So just something to keep in mind. And then also I went over the Seymour Asses tin, where he basically spends 3 years before it cuts to many years later. So Rowan Kitty posted this on January 22nd of 2025. So plus 3 years from there would be January of 2028. That might be when he returns. I don't know. It might be. But yeah, I think that June is also when we get the worm. So we'll have to wait and see. But going into MOAS real quick, I wanted to go into some main questions, because everybody talks about MOAS, and when we and everybody has like different definitions of what it means and what is it is like a part of it. So I just wanted to go in what is MOAS, when is MOAS, and then how is MOAS going to happen. I'm not done with this page yet, but I wanted to just start jogging your minds on all of this. But what is MOAS? How do you define MOAS? And so basically, to me, this is my working theory. MOAS is a specific window of time where the price action explodes. There are smaller windows of similar price action, but these windows do not produce the same peaks and volume expansion as that of the sneeze. Yeah. So basically, the smaller ones are sneezes, but then MOAS is like the big one. So what we call the sneeze in January 2021, I'm actually calling that a MOAS. And then the sneeze for me would be May 2024, which basically this this is MOAS, this is sneeze, because I mean this is absolutely a MOAS. This is, oh my god. I think the next time we have one of these is going to be May of 2028. Hey Eileen, I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you for joining, and happy Friday and happy weekend. Yeah. Oh, so the smaller windows, I call them the sneezes, but they're also, I'm calling them the BBWs, the big boomy windows, because I think it's just a funny fucking acronym to have. But what are some of the specific factors that we need in order to, what's the word, define what it means to like actually have it be in there? One of them is a gamma squeeze. And then also another one is the entire options chain has to go in the money at some point during the movement. And so according to this definition, the only time that that's occurred has been in January of 2021 and May of 2024. And hopefully December of 2026. Hopefully. But I have a feeling that we'll probably have strikes higher than 55, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But that's my working definition so far for MOAS. I'm going to add more to it. Wait, did it show up? Hold up. Oh, it's funny because like with the heart, if you turn it upside down, then it turns into a nutsack. But to options or not to options. Gunther had a question. I'm just glad there's more time to buy. My only question remains: warrants, shares, or options. When it comes to all of this stuff, it all depends on what your own specific risk tolerance is. Me personally, I'm a degen, so I fucking love options. And then I also have I have warrants and shares. I'm very diversified when it comes to them. But when it comes to like my bread and butter and my time and my energy, I spend it researching options and then playing options. Because for me, I'm not trying to do it slow and steady. I'm trying to fucking, let's get in there, baby. Let's fucking figure out what Rory Kitty figured out, and then let's go from there. So for everybody, it's all up to how much you're willing to risk. But just remember, the more you're willing to risk, the more you're able to win, but also the more you're able to lose as well. So it just depends. April and May, I think we're probably going to go back to, or April-ish, we're probably going to go back to 20. And then I'm thinking 17/18 over the summer around Labor Day. But I'm not going to lie to you, that seems more unlikely with each day that passes. Simply because if we get M&A news at some point, that's going to fucking eliminate it. So we'll have to wait and see. And then also, I'm not telling you guys to go and sell cover calls or to go out and sell cash secured puts, but look into it. If you've got a lot of shares that are just sitting there, think about selling covered calls, do research into them. And then if you have a lot of cash that you're just sitting on that you don't know what to do with it, put it towards cash secured puts. So basically you're saying, I'm willing to buy the stock at this price, and if it doesn't hit that price, then I get some money for holding on to my money. And I'm pretty sure you get more money from this than from like a high yield savings account or something like that. So look into it. Look into it. I'm not making any recommendation either way other than just to do your own research. I want to go over this real quick again, just the lights, because this has become more or less my entire fucking like trading philosophy. Red light is when I think we're about to sideways crab action for a while. Yellow light is when we should start looking, getting ready. We're about to bottom. And basically for me in the algorithm, that's when we close under 20 or close under 19. This is also when we need to start paying attention to in the money calls and puts being bought, because that'll kind of give us a directionality to pay attention to, especially if the volume for that day on that specific call or put is larger than the OI. When that happens, you know that that specific contract has just been, it's like somebody's opening up a huge position on it. And then these are just the place to follow along, not necessarily to buy in and open a position as well after them, but just to pay attention to them. Because one thing that I keep seeing is that sometimes people will assume that when a lot of calls are being bought on the day, that it's an open position, when what I've seen recently is that it's a covered call being rolled to the next week or like sometime in the future. So what we see for that day is just a huge buy for like a weekly option, either out of the money or in the money or something like that. But then what we need to pay attention to is the next day. Is the open interest less than what it was the day before, or is it more than? And for a lot of these last couple of days, what we've seen is that it's less than, meaning it's a covered call being closed out or rolled into the next week or something like that. So what you thought was somebody going long on a call is actually the opposite. So it's just something to pay attention to. And as I've been selling covered calls for a couple of months now, that's just one of the things that really clued me in on like, oh, I was looking at this the wrong way the whole time. It's not people going long on calls, opening up a position. It's actually just somebody closing a covered call for a loss. Which, be careful about that. So if you're a person going long trying to tail an option, but it was simply a dude who was taking an L, is that a good thing? I don't know. Especially not, because if you're at the top, like here on this 8% day, there were a lot of calls being bought for the weeklies. A lot of them were covered calls being closed. So if you were a person who was buying a long call at here, you're in the red right now, most likely. You're in the red for two reasons. One, we're lower than where we were, but also the IV is lower, which doubly impacts the value of your options. So it's just something to pay attention to. This exuberance right here, this is what you need to avoid. Too many people get caught up in this stream. This is, if you know anything about swimming in oceans, this is like a rip current. You don't want to get caught in there. No, no, no. So just be careful about that. Yeah. And then for me, massive out the money calls, call buying is a huge sign. One contract in particular that I've been paying attention to is the 28 calls for March 20th. This day right here, the 26th, which was the day that Burry told us about his position, some dude opened up a shit ton of them right here. Oh, wait, right here. Yeah, right here. Opened up a shit ton of them. and the OI went from 632 to 2142. Oh, whoops, my bad. Let me move my head. Yeah, if you look right here, the 26th, the OI was 632, and then some dude opened up a huge position, and then the OI went to 2142. This is an option that you want to pay attention to. They bought it for an average of 99 bucks. And since then, it has fluctuated. There have definitely been better points to get into it. Like right here, it was like half of that at 57. But then the other day, during that 8% day on the 2nd, it went up to 1.64. So it's fluctuating a lot. But then also on that day was somebody doubled down on it. So it might have been the same dude, or it might have been just another person opening their own position to it. But this is definitely a call that I've been paying attention to. And then, so green light when it's go time. If you guys remember, I was talking about this right before Ryan bought, because I was expecting to go into hiatus for a while. But then there's going to be some things that it's go time. It's green light time. One of those was $17 or $18 and very quickly. But then the big one, big insider buy, when someone buys a shit ton of shares and options. So far, this is the only surefire catalyst. And then we saw that with April and May of 2024 with Roaring Kitty. And then we also saw it in April, May of last year with Ryan Cohen and Larry Chang. And then also January 26, RCAA, and LC. Those all add into it. So that's why I came back right away. If you guys remember, I was one of the first ones to post about his 13D. And I told you my theory about going sideways, throw it out the window, because it's green light time, because it's fucking go time. And yeah, I'm glad that theory has held so far, because we have only seen uppies since then, not only in price action, but also volume. Everything has just been better since then. So I'm glad that this whole stoplight system has been working. And then the last one, I don't know if I went over this before, but the white light, that's going to be parabolic day, which happens to be right around T plus 33 of the T plus 35 day cycle. For this current cycle, I think that's going to be March 10th, but it'll be right around there. So I'm really eyeing March 9th, 10th, or 11th, right around there. But I'm very confident that it's going to be Mario Day this year. So we'll have to wait and see. But optional things that will get added into Parabolic Day is if Roaring Kitty comes back and tweets multiple times, or if he tells us about some kind of buy or something like that. He usually doesn't give us any warning that he's buying. He'll only show up in the in like unusual whales or something like that. I think he has been avoiding using the 5,000 call blocks in order to like stay more hidden, but I'm pretty sure he's been playing these movements, no doubt. But I think for the most part, he's going to stay hidden for a while. And then before we move on, let me catch up on the chat. Nanya, I'm the same. I'm also sporting shares, warrants, and options. Yeah. GME diversification, man. All in, baby. Rat, I don't see the stock ever going below 20 again now where the demand zone is and it's being defended. Keep your eye on the 200-day moving average. It's at 24. It seems to be bouncing off it this week. We could go under 20. Again, my main theory is that the algorithm does whatever it wants to do, and then everything else has to fall in line to what the algorithm has already pre-planned in advance. The algorithm wants us to do a double touch situation. So this is February of 2021. This is April of 2024. Double touch for the bottom. And then so when the next sneeze happened, double touch here at 1770, or the retrace at 1770, it wants to touch it again. It wants to. I don't know if it will, but it wants to. And so we have to pay attention to that. I'm way past assuming that it can't happen because there's just a lot of things that the algorithm can do. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do agree. I think it's going to be very tough for the algorithm to go underneath 20. And if it does, it'll be very quickly like scooped up again. It seems like 20 has become the line in the sand more or less. Because, I mean, how long were we at 19 this past time around? Yeah, we went under 20 for like 2 days. And did we even go under 20 here? Yeah, we went 1999 here. And that was the end of last year, the 31st. So I agree, it'll be tough. But I'm way past saying that it can't happen or that it'll never happen. I am prepared either way. Dijon mustard. Yeah, we're still here indeed. Damn, I can't believe I've been almost streaming for fucking 3 hours again. Whew. I want to understand how they are going to get the stock to 17 and what is the purpose. The fundamentals of GameStop are getting stronger by the day. The bad actors are losing collateral. Oh, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. The bad actors are the guys who own the most stock. You want to talk about the bad actors? It's Vanguard, it's BlackRock, it's JP Morgan. It's all the big players who own the most GameStop. They are the ones who have, besides Ryan, the majority of the stock owned. And they are absolutely not renting it out. What's the word? But they're letting their shares get barred away for the interest, and so they're making money either way off of these movements. At this point, I'm convinced that the whole entire stock market is owned by these companies and these entities. And they are the ones who are controlling the algorithm as well. BlackRock owns Aladdin. Aladdin is the algorithmic force behind all of this. So to say that they can't do something, I don't know about that, man. I think that they have already planned a whole bunch of stuff and they can do whatever they want to do. And they're probably going to get away with it too. Yeah. Dijon Mustard, congratulations on your weeklies. They printed. I hope you took profits, and I hope that you are able to regain a good entry point for another play, and that you also hit it big on that play as well. Congratulations. Rad, the Mag 7 is only dropping right now. It's only dropping right now. We'll get into macro in a little bit, but I think that we've still got more uppies. Oh no, we're not going to go into this right now. Yeah, but that's white light parabolic day. Lending, yes, thank you, Dijon Mustard. Lending and Nunya, thank you. Yo, you aren't that important. Yeah, true that, my dude. Fly, fight, win indeed. Yeah, fucking chair force. It's also college as well. You learn to make a lot of presentations during that time. And also for me, it helps to just coordinate things a lot better. Because if I didn't do that, then, oh, man, I'd be rambling for 6 hours. So at least I'm able to cut this down to 3 hours. But whoever made this meme, it's so fucking funny. I don't the Wall Street Journal keeps using this image of Ryan Cohen in the woods, and I don't even know if it's like an actual forest or if it was like, hey, we've got this forest room at the Wall Street Journal headquarters. Do you want to come here? And it's like, what the fuck is he doing there? And he's just like so out of place. But whoever fucking made this fucking meme, it's so funny. Take care, you aren't that important. Good to see you again, my dude. Have a good weekend. But yeah, Ryan Cohen is now the largest shareholder. Vanguard sold their shares, so they're currently just under Ryan by like, what was it? By like 150,000 shares. But and then behind them is BlackRock, State Street, Susquehanna, Geode. I'm pretty sure all of them are lending out shares, and they are adding into the shorting process behind all of this and making money on both sides of the play. Yeah. Talked about that already. Yeah, million shares, price action. Yeah, I think we went over that. That's fine. Ooh, yeah, okay. So we're still waiting on Ryan to get up to 10%. And so the big question is, how and when is he going to get there? Like, what's his motivation, reasoning behind it? We currently know that with his current shares that he has, and then with the award package, if once he gets the entire awards package, all 9 tranches of it, then he would be awarded. He'll be owning a total of about 42% of GameStop. That's a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind. And so the question is, does he need to get to 10% before that? And the question is, I don't know. But if he does, he needs about 2 million more shares. But that's also before the warrant dilutions. So if we add in the warrant dilutions to it, then he would need about 8.7 million shares. Yeah, or 8.6 million shares with the TSO of 507 million. So something to keep in mind. So I don't know if he's... I don't know if he would get to 10% before the warrants are exercised, or if he would just straight up like buy the 8.7 million, so that when the warrants do finish out, then it would be like he would easily have more than 10%. But then also, why does he need to do that if he's going to own 42% of the company very soon? Like, what's the advantage of him owning 10% now versus just waiting for his award package to go through? And that's the interesting question. And also another one is like, since we're in this M&A phase, he needs to be very careful about buying, because he can't buy if he has material non-public information. So if a deal has already been made, then he can't buy until then. He's also in a blackout period, so he can't buy until, I think, like 1 or 2 business days after the earnings report. But then also, if he is planning on doing some kind of cash raise, then he needs to wait until after then to do it too. So there's just a lot of different pieces for him to do stuff. But the notable thing that I just want to look at are these dates. Again, 4/7 comes into play as a likely date where he's going to buy something. Not necessarily more GameStop, but he might just start like doing the M&A acquisitions. So just something to keep in mind. Went over this already for the M&A stuff. Oh, wait, sorry. Brad, I appreciate your thoughts, but I respectfully disagree. We will see, I think, when Cohen announces the merger news, the stock dynamic change along with the algo. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree that the stock dynamics and the algo will change to a certain degree. But we also have to keep in mind when one company acquires another company, historically, the acquiring company, that stock goes down, while the acquired company, that stock goes up. So just something to keep in mind. I went over this stuff already. Yeah, I went over that already. So I went vaguely into poison pill stuff, but I'm going to go into a little bit more now. But basically, a poison pill was created in like I think it was in the 1980s or 1970s or some shit like that. But basically, what was happening in Wall Street was there were a lot of raiders. Oh, whoops. Raiders who were basically just coming in and acquiring these companies in hostile takeovers and then just doing weird shit with it. And so this one company made a poison pill, which was this new concept that was basically they were using a combination of like warrants and preferred shares and stuff like that in order to make it harder for a hostile takeover to happen. Because basically these hostile takeovers were happening and really the shareholders were getting fucked as a result, and the current board of the companies were getting fucked as a result, and then these raiders would come in and just fucking like change everything and then completely change the company. And so basically this poison pill prevents them from being able to do things as easily as they could before. Basically what happens is it gives existing stockholders the right to purchase additional shares at a discount, effectively diluting the ownership interest of a new hostile party. That's the warrants that we have. I was saying so far that these warrants were the poison pill, but basically instead of this being a hostile takeover, I think Ryan Cohn is just basically setting it up so that when the merger and acquisition does happen, the current shareholders are going to be in a very advantageous position to take advantage of the new things that are happening. And that's what these warrants are for. They're basically we were able to acquire GME at $32 because by October, when the warrants expire, the GameStop is going to be way above that. That's the only reason I can think for all of these like domino pieces to fall into place like this. So two types of poison pills. One is the flip in. It involves allowing the stockholders except the acquirer to purchase additional shares at a discount. This right to purchase is given to the stockholders before the takeover is finalized and is often triggered when the acquirer gets a certain threshold percentage of shares in the target. It's usually around like somewhere around 15% to 20% of the company. And one thing to keep in mind is accept the acquirer. So basically it gives the current shareholders just a really good deal when it finally does happen. Because if you want to stay within the boat, then you can get more stock, but at a cheaper price than what it's currently going to be. Like there's usually some kind of acquisition price. And that was why I was talking about earlier with BBYQ. I think Marcus was telling us $65 a share because that's what BBBY is going to be acquired at. I think GameStop is going to pay $65 a share for it. And it's also interesting because the warrant is for $15.50 and the stock is currently trading at half that, I believe. Almost 1/3 of that. BBBY is at $5.47. Wow. Wow. That's a deal. The only question is, when is it going to happen? Because for me, I don't want to be sitting on my hands for fucking until like August when I think this is all going to start happening. But that's the flip in method. And then the flip over method allows the stockholder of the target company to purchase the shares of the acquiring company at a big discount if the hostile takeover attempt is successful. For example, a target company stockholder may get the right to buy the stock of its acquirer at a 2-for-1 rate, resulting in diluting the equity in the acquiring company. This is going to come into play with Teddy. I think both of these are going to happen. So the flipping is going to happen between GME and BBBY, where GME holders are going to be compensated for the GME takeover. But then the flip over is going to happen when GME gets acquired by Teddy. So Teddy is going to basically give us warrants or something like that of Teddy. So basically RC is going to be like, yo, I heard you guys like Teddy, so I'm going to give you Teddy at a cheaper rate than what the market is paying for it. So this is going to be his like giveaway to us as long-term shareholders, so that we can get in on the ground floor of what he's trying to build. Imagine getting warrants of Berkshire at the very bottom for cheaper than the bottom. Well, I do say that sounds like a deal. And in some of the poison pill disadvantages, stock values become diluted, so shareholders often have to purchase new shares to keep even. Nah, not with GameStop. It doesn't work that way. Institutional investors will be discouraged from buying into corporations that have an aggressive defense strategy. Nah, it won't be for this situation. And then ineffective managers may end up staying in place through poison pills. Nah, RC's good. RC's good. And then this was a video that went into it a little bit. Just pros, cons, and controversies. I don't really remember much of that video, to be honest with you. It was good stuff, though. It helped me to fucking learn, I guess. And then, I gotta finish reading this, but this historical origins, the history of it. Yeah, it's a long document. But once I finish reading it, then that'll give me a clue of like what we're actually, like what the final plan will look like when it comes to warrants and preferred shares, and like who's going to get what, and then what order is going to make the most sense for it all. I'm still, these are a lot of puzzle pieces to put together, so I'm taking my sweet ass time with it. But I would love to have it figured out before it finally happens. And for me, I hope it doesn't happen before August, because in my mind, that's like my like deadline for having all of this stuff figured out. Because I think the October warrant's expiring. I think that's very purposeful. So that's why I believe sometime around August or September is when we're finally going to get like all of the moving pieces. And then October, we're already going to be like past 32. We're already going to be past 1550 for BBBY. So in my head, I need to have all this stuff done by August. So we'll see. And if you guys want like a historical take on the poison pill, take a look, do a little bit of research into Twitter and Elon Musk, because that was a great example of Elon saying, hey, I'm going to take over Twitter. And then Twitter was like, whoa, we're going to introduce a poison pill. So they were talking about like 20% of the company and then a whole bunch of stuff and dilution. And I was like, okay, this is cool to learn. But I don't think we need to go through that. And then the legal framework, Fox and Flask, aka Bad Robot, he has just had a wealth of information when it comes to this stuff. But basically what he was saying is that even though we have $8 billion in cash right now, we can definitely afford a company that has a much higher market cap, something in the 40s or 50 billions of market cap is doable based off of some kind of like shuffling and legal like mumbo jumbo. It's possible. So we don't have to look purely at companies that are less than 10 billion in market cap. Yeah. Timing in the road ahead. I really think that something is also going to happen at the June annual meeting. I think that the June annual meeting is going to be kind of like the last huddle before before shit starts rolling. I think that's going to be the moment where everything just starts like, it's going to be the calm, the calm before the storm. And it's going to be great. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. And then Ryan Cohen's There's Nothing More Foolish Than Cat Litter in Video Games. I think that this is definitely an M&A tweet that he was referring to, alluding to. And the +3 on that is August 2nd of this year. So some more tinfoil to pay attention to. I do think he's going to acquire Chewy at some point, or maybe not acquire, but at least like do some type of like, it's going to be involved in the play somehow. It's some kind of like partnership with Teddy, because I have a feeling he wants to bring his baby back home. Yeah. And also right now, Chewy currently has a 12.51 billion market cap. So just something to keep in mind. Do I want to get into this right now? Yeah, let's just read Larry Chang's stuff. Behind every company that is now going bankrupt because they are over-levered is a board and leadership team that looked at the debt at an earlier point and said, we will refinance it. A lot of companies are going down because of being over-leveraged, especially in this current market right now. It's bad news bears. A lot of people getting caught with their pants down. And then this was him on LinkedIn going more in depth. If a company can't service its debt out of its cash flows and they are taking an exogenous risk with the business, this sequence is one that has repeated itself many times, particularly in this environment. 1. Company is unprofitable. 2. Company has debt it can't service out of cash flow. 3. Company plans to refinance debt later and continues to burn cash. Oopsie. Uh-oh. And then 4. Company's performance is weaker than anticipated, therefore cash burn is higher than anticipated. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The shit gets worse and worse. Debt service expands as interest's only period ends and principal payments kick in. Uh-oh, time to pay the piper. The need to refinance comes faster and under greater duress than anticipated. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. The company is deemed too risky to lend to, given the duress. Refinancing is not an option. Company goes bankrupt. That might be AMC. That might be AMC. Sorry, my AMC apes. I'm sorry. Yet, despite many examples of companies of all types, large and small, public and private, all different industries, following some version of this sequence and losing the entire company because of it, companies continue to follow the same path. Idiots. The 3 ways to manage debt: generate enough cash flow to service the debt, buy out the debt with existing cash, bet the entire company on the capacity to refinance through new debt or equity. If you can't or won't do either of the first 2 options, then the third path is one that risks the business, and many companies in this environment have lost the entire business because they chose this option. It's not to say the third option can't work, but everyone involved needs to appreciate that it is the equivalent of the highest stakes poker. Larry's very smart. He's very conservative in how he does business as well. He is somebody that very much values long-term reward over short-term profits. And I agree with all of this shit. I mean, it's basically, thinking about it in terms of like the retail portion of things. When you buy something on your credit card and you can't pay it back, you're paying enormous interest, and that interest compounds, and it's just going to get worse and worse until you can't pay them back at all, and then you just have to file for bankruptcy. The only way to fucking make things work is to make sure that you have the cash on hand in order to pay your debts, because as soon as you become over leveraged, you start being at the whims of the economy and things that are outside of your own control. And then the sharks that come in, the lending sharks, they will chomp on you if you are not in a good place, because the bankers, that's all they want. They want people to fucking go under, because they always end up winning somehow. I don't know exactly how. I'm sure that there's a legalese thing in the courts and stuff, but you don't want to get caught with your pants down, and you don't want to be over leveraged. And Larry makes a lot of great points. Also, something with the M&As, just going back and forth between my GameStop app, PSA app, and eBay app, looking at the pricing. I think a lot of people have been talking about eBay as a possible M&A target. I like it. eBay has about like a 40 billion market cap right now. But one thing that I really like about it is that it has a huge infrastructure and like a brand that a lot of people go through for specific things. I think that it also adds very well into the collectibles ecosystem that has been created between GameStop, PSA, and then adding eBay into this mix would just create the vertical integration that would fit very well with the model that we have right now for collectibles. Something that I want to show you is just the numbers on the collectibles. Let me go up on. So Bad Robot, aka Fox and Flash, he has a lot of great information when it comes to the quarterly reports and just the money that goes in everything. Oh shit, I've been up here the whole time. My bad, my bad. Gotta put myself in the bottom left again. um, so collectibles ends up being, wait, let me see this math. Ends up being about 30% of the company's revenue, which is a large portion. But is that enough to make it our whole business model? Because if the M&A does end up being eBay, then that would be Ryan Cohen like really going full steam ahead with the collectibles business, which is only 30% of our revenue so far. Is it expected to go up? I don't know how much more. I haven't finished reading Michael Burry's big like 8,000 word article. I'm gonna try to do that this weekend. But from what I can gather, or if my memory serves me correctly, the collectibles business is great, and it's definitely something worth us going into. But for it to be the number one thing that we're about, I'm not sure if that's. I don't know if that's the play. And so if eBay does end up being the merger and acquisition, that would mean that he's really leaning into collectibles as the number one. And personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's a much larger market that is available outside of collectibles. And I think that he's going to take a more traditional retail commerce route. When it comes to that, that's not to say that like brick and mortar stores as traditional, but just to say like selling items to people, things that people buy to bring inside of their homes. I think I honestly think something like Target would be more applicable to probably what he is trying to create, more than a collectibles heaven, because with a Target you can have the collectibles heaven as well. I don't know. I really like the idea of Target. I haven't done too much in like research into it, and I definitely need to do more. But I like Target better than eBay. But I just wanted to talk about eBay because it was on here. And then this one from Larry. Do you remember when Berkshire Hathaway was a textiles company? American Express was an express mail business. Nokia was a pulp mill. Samsung was a grocery trader. Marriott was a root beer stand. I did not fucking know that. I love root beer. I did not know Marriott was a root beer stand. That's crazy. Instagram was a check-in app. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember those days, bro. I don't. Businesses evolve. Other examples, this was in May 30th of 2024. This was one of the early examples of like tinfoil leading us to the whole idea that they were going to do an M&A eventually. And lo and behold, we are finally fucking here at the year where it's going to happen. I have no doubt that because Ryan Cohen has come out and talked to the news and said M&A and hyping us up, I have no doubt it's going to happen this year. The question is, how soon is it going to happen? Personally, I think May, but it could also be earlier. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, Region Formal was talking about M&As. This was on Superstock. Check out his profile. It was a great reread. And then Burry was talking about he could also do multi-company simultaneous acquisition with revenue synergies between the three and issue debt off the acquired company / combined company, with one company being able to take advantage of existing infrastructure. I have the three companies in mind, and I will outline this deal in my next post, likely to Monday morning. He made a lot of, let me see if I have that somewhere. So he made a lot of different suggestions. I don't know if any of them are going to be the main one. I think Ryan has already alluded to the main one in his tweets. One thing that Burry doesn't have, that we have, or rather something that we have an advantage of, is that we are able to get into Ryan's mind a lot better because we've been paying attention to the tweets for these last couple of years. And Burry probably hasn't. And so for us, we have a little bit of the tinfoil. We've been talking about the M&A for years now, and here it is. So Ryan has been telegraphing what he's been doing just through references and allusions, hoping that we would catch on to it. And I think for the most part, we have. So I don't think any of these are going to be the main one. Yeah. This was a... Yeah, I was talking about AMC is likely going to be acquired, but only once it goes through like bankruptcy or it gets delisted or something like that. It's got to be like mad fucking cheap for us to take on that debt. Or we just don't take on the debt at all and it goes through bankruptcy first. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, because I don't know what happens in bankruptcy with like the NOLs, the net operating losses or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. And I gotta let somebody smarter talk about that stuff. But another reason why I thought Target might be a target. So Toast, who is the social media manager for GameStop, he posted this clip from Ocean's 11. The original clip is a lot longer because Brad Pitt says, "So what's the target?" And then George Clooney talks about casinos. But in the Toast clip, Brad Pitt just says, "So what's the target?" And then it cuts. And then it just cuts to the end of the scene where he's like, Yeah, so I thought that was very interesting. And that's why it got me on the board to the Target train. Which also, I mean, I really like the idea of Target because it's a reputable brand. It's been going under the shitter for a couple of years. I mean, their CEO just stepped down recently. And now they have I think the CFO or CIO is now the CEO. But their management was trying to go woke for a bunch of years, and it's like it didn't work out. And a lot of the quality of the products has taken a hit as well. Because basically what ended up happening was they were trying to fight Walmart on Walmart's terms when they should have just stuck to being Target. Because Walmart is known for being super cheap. and also super low quality. And Target was trying to be cheap, and then they had to go the low quality route in order to do that, when they should have just stuck with reasonable prices but at a premium still. Because when you go into Target, the reason you go in there is because it's supposed to be fucking clean, and you're not supposed to deal with the Walmart riffraff. But if I'm going into Target and it's the same fucking bullshit as Walmart, then what's the fucking point if Walmart's cheaper anyway? So Target has a very it has a very interesting ecosystem set up around it. I worked at Target for a holiday season at one point, and it was very interesting to see the under the hood, what's behind it. Yeah, Victoria's Secret boobs. Yeah, the Kiritsu. I think Flexport is going to kind of come into play with this at some point. I just want to put that company on your guys' radar if it wasn't already. They've been a part of the tinfoil for a while now, but Flexport is a American multinational corporation that focuses on supply chain management and logistics, including order management, delivery, trade financing, insurance, freight forwarding, and customs brokerage. Is definitely involved in this play somehow. Ooh, Nunya says the new I'm assuming that this is for Target, but they said the new CEO is the former COO. Oh, that makes more sense. Chief Operating Officer, who has been around for the past 20 years. Same stale management. Yeah, especially, I don't know if they were part of like the Boston Consulting Group fucking shit that was going on. But that's the thing with all of these fucking CEOs and executives who jump from company to company and lead them into the fucking ground trying to cut costs, and all they do is just come up with nothing new, and they try the same old tricks every time. We're in an environment where we need to be fucking innovating, and if you're not innovating, then see ya. But yeah, that would stick with the idea that it's still stale management. I agree. I didn't read too much about them though, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Poison pill setup. Yeah, I talked about this, Mags. Yeah, this is from the S3. I just want to show you guys this. Yeah, GameStop Form S3. This is their game plan. We are going to get all of these. The units. When we finally get to the Kiritsu part of the play, where it's the companies working in synergistic partnership with each other, I believe that it's going to be units that we are going to get as part of our deal for all of these different companies. Yeah, I don't know if the units are going to give us the opportunity to buy stock at a cheap price or something like that, but we're definitely going to have the opportunity to have it's basically like, yeah, my mom always said life's like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Well, Ryan Cohen is going to tell us exactly what we're going to get. It's also interesting because in a box of chocolates, if you can read, they tell you what the fuck is in the box. So Forrest Gump, my motherfucker, you just can't read. Forrest, oh Forrest. Oh, this was from the Michael Burry. He says the governance improved immediately upon Ryan's ascension. The board is now right-sized and vulnerable to activism. 5 directors, all elected annually with no poison pill defense. I disagree. We have the poison pill already set up. We just haven't called it that. But it's there, baby. We've got the warrants. Let's fucking go. But yeah, as soon as we got the warrants out, I fucking knew that the poison pill was part of it. And I'm glad to see that it is. Yeah. Ooh, something to keep in mind. The ice cream post that is now deleted. It was posted on 12/7. And then we saw a lot of stuff come into play shortly afterwards. But it was posted at 6:13 p.m. Does this imply that something happens in June? Because Tuesday the 9th, that's probably going to be the annual meeting. The 6th or the 13th would then be that Saturday. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. Do we need to do anything else in there? Nah. BBYQ. All right, we're almost done, everybody. Yeah, just so you guys are aware, BBBY. There was this great article from Nikki Sanders talking about why Bed Bath & Beyond bought a tokenization platform. Basically, from my understanding of it, they've been trying to build a... Oh, actually, this tweet from Marco Loco was really great, sums it up nicely. Lemonis has commented on this many times. One-stop home services with an insurance/financial services/conveyance engine behind it to fuel acquisitions from the premiums created. Very Warren Buffett-led principles, but more focused. So basically, they're trying to just be the home place. Everything that you have to do with the home, you can find it at Bed Bath & Beyond. Which, especially once we start getting into a more tokenization environment and digitalization of everything, we've been talking about homes being sold on the markets via NFTs for a very long time. Obviously, they're not going to call it NFTs, but they'll find a way to use a more crowd-friendly way to talk about it. Because I mean, when we're talking about credit cards and stuff, there's a whole bunch of different terms to talk about how a credit card actually works in the process of the transactions and everything. But nobody knows what it actually does. We just know how to use it and what we need to do if it doesn't work, who to call. And I think more or less NFTs are going to be that, where it's you can learn about it if you want to, but for the most part, people are just going to be all right, make it work for me, bud. And if it doesn't work seamlessly and fluidly and easily, then it's just not going to work. So it's got to be simple. And I think that that's what Bed Bath & Beyond is trying to build. And I think that that's a huge reason why GameStop getting involved with them is definitely on the ticket, especially because of tokens.com and T0 being on the blockchain. That's going to be fucking great. It's going to be fucking great. We already went through $65 a share in the warrants information and the odds. Michael Burry says he doesn't really know much about the nulls, or that nothing can happen from it. But they wouldn't be there if they weren't worth it. I don't think that Ryan would be doing all of this if there wasn't some greater plan. I definitely think they're going to come into play later. Do we need that? No. Share exchange event. Yeah, this is going to be the last thing, I think. But this, Bobby Cat had posted this back when the warrants originally came out. And basically, in the Project Genesis document, there's a clause for what would happen to your warrants if a share exchange event were to occur. This is going to happen with the M&As. Basically, a transaction, merger, acquisition, major spinoff, etc., where the common stock of one company is legally replaced with something else. If a share exchange event occurs, the current GME common stock would disappear and be replaced by the reference property, and the unit of reference property would basically be the basket of assets that a shareholder receives in the exchange. For me, this goes into the 741, aka 7 companies for one company, meaning GameStop divides itself up into 7 different companies, but then also those 7 companies are going to come together into one teddy basket. I think that that's how it's going to eventually happen. This also means that shorts wouldn't be able to just go into the market and buy the old GME stock to close their position. They must acquire and deliver the entire unit of reference property, including all dividends or distributions tied to it. And then this just goes into the minutia of it. But the warrants gave us pretty much the final piece we needed to see the big picture that was happening. And personally, yeah, I'm fucking ready for it. But I don't really know what else to talk about. So if there were any questions, okay, my bad. I still don't understand units. Can you explain that a bit? Let's go into it. Oh, actually, let's go into the S3. $27. I highly recommend everybody read the S3. Actually, I'll retweet it right now. But I'll leave that up while I'm doing this. Oh no. All right, I just retweeted the S3, or at least a link to it. But let's just read this because I think it's necessary. The following description contains general terms and provisions of units to which any prospectus supplement may relate. The particular terms of the units offered by any prospective supplement, and to an extent, actually, this is fucking really big. Can you guys read that? Oh, it's probably really small for you. Damn it, I gotta find a middle ground. Here we go. Oh, I gotta remove my fucking head. For more information, please refer to the provisions of the unit agreement and unit certificate, forms of which we will file with the SEC at or prior to the time of the sale of the units. All right, blah, blah, blah. We may issue more units time to time, any amounts. Okay. We may issue units consisting of any combination of two or more securities described in this prospectus. Each unit will be issued so that the holder of the unit is also the holder of each security included in the unit. Thus, the holder of a unit will have the rights and obligations of a holder in each included security. These units may be issuable as, and for a specified period of time, may be transferable as a single security only, rather than as the separate constituent securities comprising such units. So a unit is basically like a basket. The applicable prospectus supplement will describe the terms of the units offered pursuant to it, including one of the more of the following as applicable: the title of a series of units, the designation and terms of the units and the securities comprising the units, the aggregate number of and the price at which we will issue the units, and any provisions for this issuance, payment, settlement, transfer, or exchange of the units or of the securities comprising the units, the date, if any, on and after which the constituent securities comprising the units will be separately transferable, whether the units will be issued in fully registered or global form, a description of the terms of any unit agreement to be entered into between us and a bank or trust company as unit agent governing the units, a discussion of material U.S. federal income tax considerations, whether the units will be listed on any securities exchange, and any other material terms of the units and their constituent securities. So basically, if I'm understanding this, the unit is basically going to be the share of whatever company, but it's going to be multiple companies. So before Teddy becomes a thing, we might get the Teddy units, meaning we might get one unit, which is comprised of a GME share, a Bed Bath share, fucking like whatever the 5 other companies share is, and then it's all going to be comprised into one unit, and then that unit eventually becomes Teddy, something along those lines, or can be traded in for Teddy or something like that. That's my current understanding of it. Obviously, we're going to find out more information about it, but I have a feeling that those 7 different companies were all going to receive whatever this unit is. So this is going to be something that you'll see a lot of people getting if they own some of that company. So this is not just like a GameStop thing. This is whatever the Kuretsu fucking umbrella is going to be. Everybody going to be getting a little bit of this. It's like if Teddy was throwing a party and at the party there was a giant bowl of fruit punch, the units is the fruit punch. That's the best I could say for it. Nunya, I hope that answered your question. Yeah. Game Shark Cohen's way. I agree. Vic, how you doing, my dude? Glad you could join. I'm basically done. Libertine, cheers to you as well. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's units. And that's pretty much my whole presentation, at least for today. I thought that today was going to be a shorter one, but somehow I still managed to make this one fucking 3 hours, bro. Oh my god, no, I'm not done yet. Oh my god. I still gotta go in the back row. No, we're not gonna go into this timeline. We already went into this. Yeah. I need to put this out there. I made this prediction as I was going to bed on 128. Basically, gold and silver will continue to rise until September/October of this year, and then Bitcoin will bottom in October of this year, and then after that, Bitcoin and crypto will begin a multi-year run. Basically, gold and silver going up will rotate out with Bitcoin starting in October of this year. And then in October, and then SPY will continue to go up during this time. Yeah, SPY is going to continue to go up incrementally during this time. And then October 2026, there's going to be like some kind of liquidity event, a big scare, but it won't be the biggest crash that we've seen. Either like October or November of this year. And then 2027 will be a blow off top, the year of mania where all investments will rise like crazy and everyone will think they're a genius for being rich. It's going to feel like 2020/2021 when everybody was just making money. Like you could fucking throw your stimulus check at anything and you'd fucking make money from it, and everyone's gonna feel just great about it. And everything's just, the price of everything's just gonna go up. Dumb people are going to sell their assets because they think that their house is worth double, or their cars are worth double, or their precious metals are worth double, their gold, their silver. They're going to think everything is worth double. But what is actually happening will be that the USD, the US dollar, is actually being debased so much and so quickly that everything will seem expensive because the dollar is just worthless. I need to find this image for you guys because it basically just paints the picture of debasement so well. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ay, ay, ay. Sorry, we're very close to the end. I need to get through this. Here we go. So, as everything's going up, like the precious metals, the silver, your house, gold, everything, it'll feel like the dollar is staying the same. But what's really happening is the value of silver and gold and your house, everything is staying the same, but the dollar is taking a nosedive. This is what's actually happening. And so 2027 will be that year where the dollar just gets creamed and there's going to be blow off top and everything is going to go to all-time highs. And then October 2027, March 2028, or October 2028 will be the crash. It will be the like October 2008 crash, the great financial crisis. I'm guessing it'll be October 27, March 28, or October 28. One of those three. That's what I have it narrowed it down to right now. Obviously, this is so fucking far in the future that it's hard to tell exactly, but I believe that this is where the pain truly begins. Great Depression 2, electric fuck you, which is also going to be due to the rising power costs because everything's fucking going to be too expensive because the AI and the data centers are going to be fucking so expensive, and the fucking people in charge aren't smart enough to say, you know what, maybe we should make these data centers pay the extra cost that is causing everybody the strain on the system, on the electric grid. But obviously the fucking data centers and the AI companies, they are owning the politicians, so that's not going to happen. Then 2028 will be the year of torture, and then miraculously the 2028 will be like in the heart of the fucking depression, and then President Trump will have the perfect solution for it. He's going to save the day, and it's going to be a UBI, a universal basic income cryptocurrency, which is basically going to be what's that fucking term called? uh oh, I hope I think of it. Oh, damn it. But basically, he's going to give it away for free. It's going to be like the COVID stimulus, and because it's free, people aren't going to turn it down. And this is what is going to get us hooked to the system like drug addicts. They want us to get hooked into a digitalized economy, into a completely blockchain economy, and get us away from precious metals. They don't want the plebeians, the fucking peasants, to deal with the rich people stuff. They want us on pure made up money, another made up money, which the dollar is made up. They printed it out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they were like, this is going to be your cash. And they're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be in digital form. And then this digital form is going to be different because at least with cash, it's something that you can spend anywhere, and you can basically just like, it's not traced. But with a digital currency, it is definitely going to be traced. And as soon as you say something or do something that the state does not like, they're going to shut you down. What's that fucking term called? Oh, sorry, I need to look this up because it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember what the fuck it is. But in the meantime, while I look for it, basically one of the main things that I'm going to look for like an indicator that the crash is about to happen, is when the EFFR, the effective federal funds rate, what everybody knows colloquially as the interest rate that is set by the feds, I want to see it hit 2.5, because when it hit 2.5 in 2008, that was when things really started ramping in terms of crash mode. And right now, we are still at about 3.64. I think that we're supposed to stay in the rate of 3.5 to 3.75%. And then there's going to be another FOMC meeting in March, I think. So that's just something to keep in mind. What is the term called? Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. That's what they're going to give us for free so that we get hooked on it. and so that they can shut us off at any point that they want. Yeah. And then that's my big theory for the big macro picture for what's about to happen. That would be fucking really cool if it happened as I said it would. But as before, I've been wrong. So we'll see. I'll tweak this theory as we get closer and as we learn more information. But for the most part, that's what I believe will happen in the long term. And yes, Nunya, Universal Basic Income, also known in China as the social credit scores. Yeah, social credit scores. Basically, they're going. There's a very interesting Black Mirror episode that it talks about it. What episode was it? Baby. Black Mirror season 3, episode 1. What the fuck was the name of the episode? Oh, Nosedive. Yeah. Basically, it's about a woman desperate to boost her social credit or social media score. Hits the jackpot when she's invited to a swanky wedding, but the trip doesn't go as planned. Basically, it's society's way of saying you better fucking get in line and do what we tell you, or else you're going to suffer economic consequences as a result. It's basically another system of control and power over us. Another way to take away our individuality. Fuck them. Fuck them. And then last but not least, let's talk about Bitcoin. This is going to be really quick. This was my chart at the end of last year on December 31st. I said that we're going to bottom out sometime in October. And it's going to be somewhere between like 40,000 to 50,000 bottom. And then we've seen massive crashes along the way. This was about a week ago. And then let's just check on it right now, where we're at. We've gone through the yellow line. And I think this is going to slow down a little bit, like the downward projection. But we're getting very close into that buy zone. Not a recommendation. I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm going to let Ryan do that. I'm just trading GameStop. But just something to keep in mind. Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, because I don't really want to talk about, I guess we could talk about the Bitcoin side a little bit. But the Epstein documents, yeah. I was saying all along, the CIA, the NSA, I'm pretty sure they created Bitcoin. And what we've learned over the last week and a half with the Epstein files is that Epstein had a very, very big hand in all of the clandestine agencies of the United States. So I might be crazy, but it looks like things are starting to come together where Butt Farm might not be so crazy. And I'm just, it feels like 2026 might be the year where I finally get vindicated on a lot of stuff and a lot of beliefs that I've held over the last couple of years. Or it might just go full crazy. I don't know. Yeah. But, man, oh man. That was, that's pretty much the presentation. Thank you for everybody who has been here for the last 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's been about 3 hours, 30 minutes and 33. Oh shit, now it's 34. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you for the next one. I don't know if it'll be in 2 weeks or a little bit later, but enjoy your dinners or whatever else you have planned for tonight, and have a good night. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Thank you. Peace out, Nanyas.